Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. It's been the scene of some great Tiger Cat triumphs, but none this year. Today, the Cats rally around a new head coach as their search for victory continues. It will be tough against the multi-talented Toronto Argonauts. Toronto at Hamilton in Week 9 of the CFL on CBC. It's Labor Day, and that means summer is over and school is back in. The Hamilton Tiger Cats would just as soon forget their summer. Little went right. Not enough for the Cats to earn a single win. An 0-8 record cost head coach David Beckman his job on Friday. John Gregory felt the same pain a few weeks ago in Saskatchewan. He was fired after taking the Rough Riders to their greatest heights in the last quarter of a century. With a Grey Cup on his resume, the Ticats think he knows enough to help them. After only 10 days of unemployment, Gregory's been called in to put the bite back in the Cats, who've been toothless since the season began. He's here in time for the Labor Day game that can best represent the bitterness of a long-standing rivalry. Over the years, many players have shone in it. It boils down to a meeting of the boys from the big city and those who represent the working class. The Tiger Cats are struggling currently, but they can look back fondly on a rivalry in which they've won their share. Can they respond to tradition today? The Big Cat has not had much to roar about this season, but Labor Day is when they're supposed to turn football up a notch, and the Ticats hope to turn it up enough today to earn their first victory of the season. Welcome to Hamilton, where they're expecting their biggest crowd of the year, and the reason for that is twofold. The Argonauts are here, and so is John Gregory. Gregory's hiring signals a new beginning for Tiger Cat fans, but new beginnings aside, the fact remains the Argonauts, with all their weapons, deserve to be favored today. We welcome to our crew today Chris Cuthbert. He's in the broadcast booth with Joe Gillette.
Thanks, Scott. Good afternoon, everybody. You know, Joe, John Gregory's plight reminds me of covering the Alouettes in the early 80s when a young coach did such a good job they made him the general manager, too. I know you can empathize with John's plight.
Well, I certainly can. It's one thing to patch up a few holes, but it's quite another thing to totally rebuild the team. And John Gregory's got his work cut out for him. He's got a tough situation at the offensive line and defensive secondary, but he started out new. How else can you start when you're 0-8? Put the equipment out. He said, men, we're going to draw the equipment, we're going to go out, and we're going to start winning football games.
One thing he doesn't have to worry about today is Pinball Clemens, but Paul Palmer is more than a capable replacement.
Paul Palmer, All-American at Temple, 44 touchdowns, #1 draft choice, ran into some discipline problems and personality conflicts. He's in the CFL. He's got an opportunity to play now. I think he's really going to take advantage of that opportunity.
Well, great history between these two teams. Tiger Cats have dominated over the years. Tiger Cats and Argos, a great Labor Day tradition as we go back to Scotto.
And Chris, this is the start of 6 hours of football on the CBC today. On Live at the Half, we'll go live to Calgary to set the stage for the second half of this Labor Day doubleheader. The Stampeders will play the Eskimos later today. John Gregory was unemployed for all of 8 days before he came east. We'll talk to him on Live at the Half. You're watching the CFL on CBC live from Hamilton.
What could be better than Labor Day in Hamilton? And the weather is ideal for the second meeting of the season between the Argonauts and the Tiger Cats. As Hank Alisic gets set to kick it off, Joe, we talk about the weather, but I think the most important thing for the Tiger Cats, the dark cloud has been removed from that Tiger Cat dressing room.
Well, when you get a new coach, that gives you a new start. So they think that they're starting their season over again. And no question, it wakes you up when a coach is let go. You sort of take a look at yourself in the mirror and say, I got to be better myself.
The 147th meeting between these two teams is underway, and Tony Logan has trouble with it, regrouping inside his 5-yard line. Not an auspicious start for John Gregory's tenure in Hamilton. Brian Smith made the stop.
Hank Alisic is one of those great kickers, particularly on kickoffs with the wind. He put the ball down there, squibbed it a little bit, and it got away from Logan, and Logan had a tough time.
72-yard kickoff. No yards on the return, so Mike Kerrigan starts in a hole. Asked John Gregory about Kerrigan. He said, you know, he was outstanding in '89, outstanding in '88. He said he hasn't lost it overnight, just lost some confidence. Kerrigan puts it out in the right flat, and there's a completion near the first down marker. Herman Hurd out of the backfield making the catch, the ex-Kansas City Chief.
They're not without some threats. Kerrigan's got a great receiver in Winfield. Ricky Martin is one of those backs that if you can get him into the open, he'll break tackles, and he could go all the way at any time.
Pickup of 8 for the Ticats. It'll be 2nd down and 2, and this would be an important first down with the Tiger Cats so deep in their own territory. The give to Herman Hurd, and he crosses the 13-yard line, and he'll be close to a first down.
This is an important series for Hamilton, and in order to be successful, Coach Gregory's going to have to be able to control that defense of the Argos. And Brian Warren, their rush man, he's one of the good rush men in the league, leading the team in sacks. Darryl Ford is the active linebacker. He's the guy that gets all over the field. But Ed Barry's got to do a job on Winfield.
The offensive line in front of Kerrigan. And Kerrigan throwing over the middle. Rodney Harding was all over him, Harold Hallman, and Kerrigan couldn't get the pass away.
Hallman just came in on a blitz. They sent the backers as well, and what that does, it reduces, and this is the problem Hamilton has. When they get their offensive line man-to-man, then Adam Rita knows he's going to win most of those battles defensively.
Asked Adam Rita about the Ticats last week, and he said just a lot of little things. Since then, John Gregory's taken over, and I bet John thinks there's more than a few little things. Here's Earl Winfield across the 15, breaking into the midfield area. Winfield, the most dangerous of the Ticats, has a first down, pulled down by the linebacker, Chris Gaines.
Earl Winfield is just taking a quick hitch pass, and he gets some good blocking inside. He's got his defensive lineman coming out, and he averages 22 yards a catch. So when you get the ball in Winfield's hands, you got something good happening.
20 yards on that reception for Winfield, his 30th catch of the season, and the Tiger Cats have some breathing room. This is tricky Ricky Martin across the 35, has a pickup of a couple.
That's one of the plays that you haven't seen much, and I think this is a built-to-order play for Martin. It's called the search or the sprint draw, and you'll see Ricky Martin carry the ball quite a bit on that, and you'll see also Kerrigan pull that ball out and throw some passes off of that play action.
It was quite notable before the game how the Tiger Cat spirits were up. A lot of confidence heading into this game as Kerrigan goes back into the flat. It's knocked down. Intended for Nick Mazzoli, and a good defensive play there by Reggie Pleasant, the veteran cornerback.
That's the difficulty to get in long yardage situations because the defense plays for the pass. Had that been a first down pass, it would have been completed, but Reggie Pleasant read the play, jumped up on Mazzoli, and played it perfectly.
One man back, Rocket Ishmael to accept the punt from Paul Osbaldiston, number 2 in the CFL right now, 43.6% punting average. And this is a dandy. The Rocket inside his 20. And he has some running room. And he's pushed out of bounds by Osbaldiston, and flags fly as the Rocket gets it into Hamilton Tiger Cat territory. So Ishmael has given the Argos great field position when we return. Rocket Ishmael has the leading punt return average of over 18 yards, 36 on that after a 54-yard kick by Osbaldiston.
You never know what to do with Rocket. If you take the outside away, that spreads you out a little bit, and then he'll take it up inside, and that's what he did. The contained people did well, but he took it back up to the inside and of course got the extra roughing penalty tacked on.
I'm not sure if they ruled it was Irvin or Osbaldiston. We were kidding with Osbaldiston about the fact he's had to make so many tackles this year, and you don't want Osbaldiston in a foot race with Ismail.
I think Ismail would probably win that foot race, but Ozzie, if he had a chance to corner him on the sideline and knock him into the wall, he would do it. That's almost what he did. He almost knocked him into the wall. They got a hair trigger here on the sidelines because the wall is so close to the field. that probably wouldn't have been a penalty in some parks.
We may see more of the Rocket today, returning punts, just 9 so far this season, but with pinball out, they're just dropping one man back, and so they may unleash the Rocket today. Here come the Argos, led by Matt Dunnigan. And Dunnigan hands off to Paul Palmer, straight up the middle for 5 yards.
Well, Matt wants to control the defensive rush. They have a lot of respect for the front 7 of Hamilton, and they'd like to corral them, control them a little bit by running that type of a play, lead draw play. And I think, Matt, if you look at Dunnigan's output, when he has been playing, he has been very productive.
Palmer, by the way, 6th all-time in the NCAA in rushing, and he'll get another chance here on the sweep to the left side. And he's tripped up just inside the 35-yard line, short of a first down. Rommel Andrews and Joe Campbell in on the stop.
In order for Toronto to convert those first downs, Dunnigan's going to have to be able to find Smith and Ismail. Those are his 2 guns. That's what he's going to be looking for, and trying to control the up-front people with Paul Palmer.
3rd down and over 3 yards to go, so Lance Chomick comes into the game. What a great year he's had. 25 of 29, 86.2% average, and as you can see, his longest is 48. This from 41, the holder Dunnigan. And Chomick is good, so the Argonauts, after the great punt return by Rocket Ismail, have struck first with 9:51 left in the first quarter at Ivor Wynn. It's the Argos 3 and the Ticats no score.
Even then, I think Hamilton has to consider that a moral victory coming back out of there. I know John Gregory said that his people will play hard. They played hard on that series. They kept Palmer at bay, didn't get the first down. Even though they had a penalty, a roughing penalty, they only gave up 3 points. I think probably Gregory's not too displeased with the way the thing has gone so far.
John will get the specialty team straightened out, and already we've had 2 bad plays by the Tiger Cats on specialty teams. A lack of a kickoff return on the opening kickoff by Logan, and then the big punt return by the Rocket.
Well, John works a lot on special teams. He really believes in it, and he believes in that field position. Their offense, Hamilton's offense, got them out of the hole. He brought them out, you know, and had a good punt, but then unfortunately they didn't cover the punt very well.
Ankalisic has it on the tee again. It's Logan and Winfield deep for the Tiger Cats. And it's Logan from his 21. Stopped immediately. Great defensive play there by Brian Smith as we go down to Scotto.
Chris, another traditional Labor Day game is Winnipeg at Saskatchewan. It's also becoming a tradition that Saskatchewan blows Winnipeg out. It happened last year and again yesterday. The Riders began early. Lucius Floyd on a 59-yard run with 2 minutes gone, and it was 7-0 Saskatchewan. Kent Austin feasted on the Bombers on this day. He combined with Jeff Fairholm on a 28-yard touchdown play coming up here to make it 14-0 Saskatchewan on the way to a 56-23 victory.
Ricky Martin, and we've heard a lot about his 4.2 speed in the 40, and Martin turns it upfield before the safety Dave Van Bellingham has to bring him down.
Well, that's exactly what John Gregory believed in Ricky Martin. He said, we have Lucius Floyd at Saskatchewan, but we can get this ball to Martin, and that guy can accelerate. That's a Statue of Liberty play, and he got through that hole, and that's what we said that we would see from John Gregory.
11 yards on the pickup by Martin. You know, watching those highlights with Ken Austin, if Austin hadn't been hurt, we might not see John Gregory on the sidelines here in Hamilton today. Herman Hurd up the middle. And the Tiger Cats, who have the lowest rushing average in the league, 88 yards a game, are developing a ground game. Don Moan and Chris Gaines in on that stop.
More importantly, what that does is that it helps the offensive line of Hamilton control that pass protection a little better when they're able to run.
Got a Kansas City reunion here. Hurd once in the Kansas City backfield with Paul Palmer of the Argonauts, and Mike Clemens was a backup with the Chiefs. They might get together after the game. Give inside Ernie Schremeyer. Stopped right at midfield. He needed 1.5 yards for a first down, and I don't think he got there.
Well, it looks like they'll go for it anyway, but the shoe didn't have much of a hole in there, and Schremeyer just kept driving his legs and showed what he used to do at Purdue.
Harold Hallman was at the bottom of the pile with the stop, and I believe Rodney Harding has been shaken up. Rodney with the helmet off, maybe just taking a breather as we get a measurement. Talked about the rushing woes of the Cats, as you see, about a foot to go. The Argonauts have 17 rushing touchdowns this year. The Tiger Cats have 2.
Well, the Argos can put anybody in the backfield and they rush for touchdowns. It's incredible. I think Ricky Foggy, their quarterback, had 6. Of course, Ismail has rushed for touchdowns from the backfield.
Joe, in a game against Calgary earlier this year, I watched the Ticats miss twice on third down gambles, a second and a third down from less than a yard, but Kerrigan has that one.
Well, Kerrigan took a drop step and just followed his blockers, and he knew that Sanderson was going to get in there and blow some people out of there. That was a one-on-one, Sanderson-Hallman, and Sanderson won it.
That offensive line, Dale Sanderson, Jason Riley, Darryl Harley. That's Todd Dillon on the sidelines conferring with John Gregory. Miles Gurrell and Dave Richardson are the tackles. John was saying before the game, John Gregory, that he liked this offensive line, felt they could work well together. There's a pass in the flat for Winfield to drop the football, and they're ruling incomplete. Ed Berry thought he may have caused a fumble, but the official says no catch.
Well, the pass was perfectly timed. Winfield makes his break to the outside, and Kerrigan put it where you want it, low and to the outside, but Ed Berry just bobbled it, knocked it right out of his hands before he could put it away. You often hear coaches tell young receivers, tuck that ball away with your head and your hands.
2nd and 10. Berry had 3 interceptions last year in a game against the Tiger Cats on September the 15th. Kerrigan pumping once, twice, and now has Winfield wide open. First down and more. Winfield pulled down by Chris Gaines at the 31.
Well, that's just good football by Winfield. Winfield saw Kerrigan make the pump, and he adjusted his route. He caught the Argos guessing. The Argos were trying to guess where he was going to go. That pump fake really unhinged Berry.
Great start for Earl Winfield and for Mike Kerrigan. Talking to many of the Cats, and they all said all Kerrigan needs is a little confidence, and he'll be back in his form of the late 80s. Kerrigan takes a look and has another receiver. That's Nick Mazzoli inside the 20, and another Tiger Cat first down.
Well, Mazzoli, I think, used that last play that he had with Pleasant knocking the ball down. This time he worked Pleasant pretty well. He gave him a sell on the upfield, then broke back inside on the curl pattern. I think the last play set this one up.
There you see it, 42% scoring efficiency for the Ticats inside the 25. That is below the CFL average. Kerrigan has Rocky DiPietro, and he's out at the 1.
Mike Kerrigan knows when you get down close to that goal line, your tight ends or your slot backs are the ones that can get themselves open easily. Rocky DiPietro, he's a veteran. He's been there so many times. Watch him work. He worked right off of Brian Smith. Smith hasn't had the experience Rocky DiPietro has.
17 yards for Rocky DiPietro. Well, you can tell that the Ticats are on the verge of improving on a disappointing outing against Ottawa. The give, Schremeyer, touchdown Ticats.
Well, this is John Gregory football. He likes that search. He likes that sprint draw thing where you give it to the tailback. Nice lead block in there. And the shoe has got himself a touchdown.
Osbaldiston to add the extra point. It's good. And with 4:48 left in the first quarter, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, with an impressive drive, lead the Argonauts 7-3. Welcome back to Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. Chris Cuthbert, Joe Galat, Scott Oak, and the CFL on CBC team as the Ticats jump to a first quarter lead.
Well, you're going to see a lot of that lead back carry that football down the field.
Osbaldiston with a big kickoff, and it's Palmer inside his 5. And Palmer's got a big return. Across midfield and finally caught at the Tiger Cat 45. So the Argonauts continue to be explosive. On specialty teams, Ricky Royal pushes Palmer out of bounds after a 60-yard kickoff return.
Well, we got some fast people out there. Palmer, Martin. What Hamilton's going to do, they're going to come back here, give the ball, but watch the lead back by Hurd come in here. Hurd makes the key block. Shoe just drives right through the pile, comes out the other end for a touchdown.
Now the Argonauts in great field position, working on a short field and a quick dump pass. Complete to Andrew Murray, but he was all wrapped up after a gain of a couple. Tim Jackson with the stop. Great drive for the Tiger Cats. A couple of key passes to Winfield and the 17-yarder to Rocky DiPietro.
Well, they had a nice drive, and they did some play action. They put the ball out there, made some first downs, and they weren't greedy. They didn't try to just throw it down the field and get it all at once, even though they were down by a field goal. So I think the Ticats are starting to show a little bit of patience. They're starting to show the one thing the Ticats need is success. And hey, they've had some success, except for kickoff coverage.
Ian Beckstead, the Argonauts center, is the injured Toronto player, and Adam Rita was saying this Argonaut offensive line is banged up, and they're all playing with pain. Now let's go back downstairs to Scotto.
Well, Chris, you're mentioning guys playing with pain. That may be the case for Ricky Martin on the rest of this afternoon. He sprained his ankle early in this game. They're retaping it now. He's going to try it on the sidelines. In all likelihood, will be back, but you wonder if this blazing fast player may give up a tad of his speed because of the injury.
Hamilton started the year with Derek McAdoo, and he is on the injury list, and Beckstead might be joining him as far as the Argonauts are concerned.
Well, they don't want to lose Ian because he does that critical thing. He snaps that football every play, and that's important because only one guy can snap that football.
Return to sender. Return to sender.
Yes, the music tells us it's time for a bit of shameless self-promotion. The 1976 Olympic shirt and the Chief Trophy be awarded by the CBC to the player who collects the most yardage on kickoff and punt returns. It's the Return to Sender Award, and hopefully the postal strike will end before the award lives up to its name. Willis Jaycox is stretching his lead to the first half of the season. Pinball Clemens, the only player in this game who's anywhere on the list, and as you can see, he is not actually in the game because of his knee injury. He'll be hard-pressed using a cane to add to his total today, Chris.
I'll tell you what, Scott, the way the Argonauts are returning kicks today, Rocket Ishmael and Paul Palmer may be added to that list. But as far as total offense is concerned, all Tiger Cats so far, 108 yards of offense in the first 11 minutes, while the Argos have been limited to 8. Beckstead walked off the field under his own power. Blaine Schmidt is over the ball, and we're ready to go. Second and almost 10, flag down, and Dunnigan in some trouble. Matt can't find anybody. Now gets rid of it, and J.P. Escuerdo couldn't pull it in. Might have been bumped. Mark Dennis in on the stop, knocking the ball from J.P. Escuerdo.
Well, you see Matt Dunnigan, classic Matt Dunnigan, but they called, this is the sophistication problems that you have when you have a new center in there. Whether or not he snapped the ball on time. You never want a center to snap the ball too early.
Procedure, corner number 86, penalties declined, third down.
And you don't want a center to snap the ball too late because then your receivers could be up too close to the line of scrimmage. That's what that call was. Andrew Murray cheated a little bit up on the line of scrimmage. They called too many ends on the line. Procedure.
Great job by that secondary. Dunnigan was trying to find somebody, but Hamilton had everybody covered. Alisic into the game, and one returner back, and that's Earl Winfield. Alisic, the leading punter in the CFL, 44.6. Here's Winfield, and a flag goes down as the Argonauts are called for no yards. 34 yards, the punt for Ilisic, and a 1-yard return, but you'll tack on the penalty after that.
Well, that penalty will help because they've been down in their own territory every time they take over the football. And that's a result of their poor kickoff coverage. Both times, Toronto's really blown out of there on that kickoff return. One with the Rocket, and then one with Palmer.
Referee George Black conferring.
Can't find anybody to talk to.
May have more than one penalty here.
No yards. Toronto number 36. Illegal block. Hamilton number 97. First down.
So the Tiger Cats get an extra 5 yards after the penalties are exchanged, and they'll start from their 15 once again in a hole, but it didn't bother the Tiger Cats in their last possession. Scott has mentioned that Ricky Martin is out of the offensive scheme for the Tiger Cats right now. Kerrigan gives to Herman Hurd, and the counter play goes across the 20 near the 25-yard line and close to a first down.
Well, they've got Toronto guessing a little bit. What they're doing, Kerrigan drops back as though it's going to be a pass, and then he gives the football on just a Statue of Liberty look. And Hurd came through and came out the other end, made a nice gain.
Rodney Harding with the tackle. When asked about the rushing woes of the Tiger Cats, John said, "I'm going to give them a fresh start. I will assess them on what they do for me." Speaking of Hurd and Martin, and there's a first down carry well across the 25, and it's Hurd for 3 more. Have a look at those big offensive linemen in front, and they were saying they had their annual pool party, Joe, and Darryl Harley won the belly flop competition this year, measured on sound and water displacement. And the only non-offensive lineman invited is Paul Osbaldiston.
And he didn't really displace much water, did he?
Tiger Cats with a first down and have enjoyed a pretty good offensive scheme. This time they faked that Statue of Liberty, and it's thrown in the flat, and Lee Knight can't hang on. Flag down upfield.
Well, Kerrigan faked the play and came back around, but I think we're going to see a little problem here in the secondary. A little catching of the jersey.
Earl Winfield was working against Reggie Pleasant. Here's the call.
Forward pass interference. Toronto number 2. First down.
Now, this is an ideal situation for Hamilton. Winfield has got them thinking now. They're trying to look into the backfield. Whoa, you can't grab me. Winfield spins off and comes back around, but he gets the penalty, and the ball was thrown alertly by Mike Kerrigan to his lead back.
13 yards gained by the Tiger Cats on that penalty call. And it's an interesting matchup. Winfield now this time against Ed Berry on the other side. Play action by Kerrigan, throwing downfield. Nick Mazzoli inside the 35. And the #1 draft choice with a big catch hauled down by Donovan Wright and Reggie Pleasant.
Everyone's been waiting to see Nick Mazzoli break out of there. He had a great training camp with the Seahawks. Came to the Ticats a little bit late, but look at the way he broke on that post pattern, and Kerrigan threw it right on time to split the zone.
33 yards for Mazzoli, the first Canadian ever to be an All-American in Division II football. He had 16 touchdown passes last year for Simon Fraser University. First down, the Tiger Cats on the move again. Kerrigan takes a look, dumps it off to Winfield, and he's hauled down by Ed Berry at the 28-yard line.
Now, Kerrigan's got a lot of confidence. He's had some success early in this game. It's exactly what he needed. The other thing that helps Kerrigan, as you see him deliver the ball, Winfield's just turning these guys around. He's really giving them a lesson out there, but Kerrigan's having some time. The running game's going pretty good. He's got some time to deliver the ball.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4, Tiger Cats. And it's a pitch to Hurd. And Hurd stopped up this time. And he'll be held short of a first down. Chris Gaines in on the stop. That's the end of the first quarter, and it was a good one for the Tiger Cats. They lead 3. Yeah, the Tiger Cats of all ages are roaring so far this afternoon. Hamilton with the lead after 1 quarter of play and threatening to add to it as they will attempt a field goal by Paul Osbaldiston from 35 yards out. Oz 11 for 18 on the year. Todd Dillon the holder. No problem for Osbaldiston, and the Tiger Cats lead by a converted touchdown. Well, I think those statistics would surprise anybody. The Argonauts heavy favorites, but it's Labor Day in Hamilton, Joe.
And it's interesting how one thing leads to another. Basically what Hamilton's done is they've controlled the line of scrimmage in that first quarter, and by controlling the line of scrimmage, they've been able to give Kerrigan enough time to throw the football downfield, and he's made some very nice on-time passes.
Well, it is early, but boy, we're making a case for replacement coaches. Joe Faragelli is 4-0. Don Matthews is 2-0.
It's hard to replace the football team, so sometimes just to wake people up, you replace the coach, and the same guy isn't up in front of the room telling you what to do. You start to think, well, hey, maybe they're serious around here.
Osbaldiston, one of the many Tiger Cats before the game, talking about a new atmosphere in Hamilton with the change of coaches. And he gets set to kick it off. Palmer and Ismail go back, and they've already had a couple of big returns. Ozzie shanks this one, and it's one of the upmen, Brian Smith. Pulled down at the 46, which is good field position normally, but not as good for the Argos so far today. Just a 4-yard return as we go back down to Scotto.
Chris, probably the most welcome addition to Iverwin Stadium in the last dozen years is the new playing surface. $1.3 million of AstroTurf, and the players ever delighted that it's put in, because look at what they used to play on. In many places on the old field, the turf had actually worn down to that. It was akin to being tackled on a parking lot with indoor-outdoor carpet. This is what they play on now. The game is still dangerous, but a lot less so with the new surface.
And a little later today, Scott will be updating the tactified leather situation as Darrell K. Smith is pushed out of bounds. Todd Wiseman, the safety, taking him out.
Todd Wiseman used to be the leading tackler in the league, and then he's dropped to about third now, but you don't want your safety to be the leading tackler. Did a good job of making sure that Smith is taken care of. Speaking of the surface, Chris, the old middle of the Ticat Stadium used to be a huge tiger, and it had been painted so many times that it turned into just about concrete. And there was a lot of complaints at that time, and now I see there's no tiger at the middle of the field, just a big C for center ice.
There's also Mitchell Price down. An old tiger has been shaken up and is getting attention from the staff. Let's take a look at the Eastern standings. Winnipeg upset yesterday in Saskatchewan, and so the Argos with a little breathing room at the top. The Ottawa Rough Riders are surging, and John Gregory comes in on Labor Day, and believe it or not, the magic number for Hamilton to miss the playoffs is 6. I've never talked about magic numbers this early in the year before. Here's a look at the West in the key game this afternoon from McMahon Stadium. The Stampeders playing host to the Edmonton Oilers, or the Edmonton Eskimos, and I hear it could be a capacity crowd at McMahon. And of course, that game will come to you on CBC immediately following the Argos and the Ticats.
Well, Calgary's passing attack versus Edmonton's running attack. Edmonton's got some real tough guys like Blake Marshall running through there, and they've averaged over 200 yards on the ground, and that's incredible. So Calgary, they've done a great job with Danny Barrett and company, and even though they have a quarterback that's not too happy, Calgary's got a passing attack.
We're going to take a break. 14:20 left in the second quarter. Ticats lead by a touchdown. Argos with a second down and about 5 yards from close to midfield. Mitchell Price has gone to the Tiger Cat bench, but seemed to be all right, and he may return. Right now, Tim Lorenz moves into Price's nose guard position. And Dunnigan on second down. And he will run for the first down inside the Tiger Cat 50-yard line. John Moulton in on the stop for Hamilton. And there is Mitchell Price receiving more attention. Looks like the left ankle.
Mitchell's back home He went to Calgary for a while, but he started here and he wants to end up here. He's been playing well in the middle. He's controlled the running game extremely well the last few weeks.
Surprising, Joe. First down for the Argos, and it comes here early in the second quarter. Dunnigan quickly out to Ismail. The Rocket turns it in. Fumbles the football. Hamilton has it. Mark Dennis comes up with it after Ismail lost control.
Well, Hamilton's happy they got that turnover, and this is when they need it. They have to be able to establish something. The Rocket catches the football, and now as he's trying to make the cut,
Ramel Andrews stripped the ball away from the Rocket.
That ball was hit right as he had his elbow bent, and it popped out. Watch the ball come out because his elbow's pinned to his side. He can't control the football.
And the Tiger Cats now take over at their own 35-yard line. Herman Hurd stopped after a pickup of 2. And the confidence that they brought into the game, Joe, I'm sure is starting to build.
Coleman and Harding on the tackle.
Now, that fumble by Ismail was, seems like a fumble in every game that Ismail's played so far, and that's certainly fired up the Ticats. If they can turn this into a score, they'll be in good shape.
Well, the Argonauts' giveaway-takeaway ratio has been good this year. They're +7 overall, while the Tiger Cats are -10. And the injured running back Herman Hurd down, and the Tiger Cats have already lost Ricky Martin.
Well, as an example, that giveaway-takeaway, Hamilton came into the ball game second to last. They had 21 takeaways, and they gave 31. It looks like he turned over the knee, and then some people came on and just put a little more force to that bad angle he had on his leg. But Herman Hurd, now they're running out of running backs, because if Ricky Martin's out and Herman Hurd is out, then the shoe is going to have to carry most of the load. And he is capable.
Joe, we're going to go back downstairs to Scotto.
Well, Chris, emotions running high here on the Hamilton Tiger Cat bench, and so are the number of injuries, as you and Joe have discussed. There's Ricky Martin on the bench. They've had a closer look at him, and it appears that he can't put any weight whatsoever on his right foot. They're fearful of some ligament damage in the ankle area, and in all likelihood, he will not return to this game this afternoon. We'll update you on the status of Herman Hurd as soon as we can, but I notice as they're carrying him off, he can't put any weight on his left leg, so the situation is not good for the Ticats offensive backfield right now.
Somebody better put out a call for Jamie Morris, who saw action earlier this year. Here's a pass for Ken Abrere, and a first down for Hamilton. Mike Kerrigan right now is on the money.
This was one of the things that John Gregory said that they would do. They would be able to control the blitz. Watch the Argos. They're sending all the backers. That puts them one-on-one. And if Abrere had stayed up, I think he had a touchdown. But he had to concentrate on the ball. He looked like he did a little bit of a tuck ball on the shoulder. But that's a great job of picking up the blitz. Good job of recognition by Kerrigan.
28 yards for Abrere. He had just 2 catches for 24 yards coming into the game. And it's Abrere again at the 40. And he has a pickup of 4. Ed Berry with the stop on the Canadian slot back, who ended up on the practice roster earlier this year with Dave Beckman.
Well, Coach Gregory knows one thing they're going to do is double on Winfield. They don't seem to be able to cover him, so they're going to roll up on him, and Winfield's going to have to catch that ball in the seam between the short coverage man and the guy coming over the top.
Second down, 6 Tiger Cats. Kerrigan in the flat, goes to Abrere again, and he is near a first down. Stopped by Don Wilson, and Abrere stretched out, and he'll be close to that first down marker and has it.
If you want to credit anybody with those last 2 catches, although they were good throws and good catches, credit Earl Winfield, because he's got the defense rolling, and when they roll over top of Winfield, Abrere is wide open.
Not much doubt that Earl Winfield is one of the most dangerous weapons in the CFL. First down, Hamilton. They're driving again. Schremeyer right up the middle, and he has running room. They may be running out of running backs, but not out of rushing yards so far, Joe.
Well, listen, he lived about 2 blocks from me, went to school at John Abbott in Montreal, and I know the shoe can carry the football. I've watched him at the North Shore junior team, and then he went on to Purdue. He punted at Purdue. So if they need him to quick kick, he can do that. If they need him to run the football, the shoe can do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, you could have carried the football behind Miles Gurrell that time. Big Miles, 6'8", 290 pounds, was leading the blocking.
Nice surge by their offensive line.
2nd down and 2, and Lee Knight with the carry. He's got a first down, and Knight has had to move into the backfield now. Chris Gaines with the stop for the Argonauts. But the lowest rushing team in the CFL is doing a job against the Argonauts.
And you know what they're doing it with? They're doing it with Schermeyer and Knight. And if anybody would tell you before the ball game that they would have their 2 top running backs out and Schermeyer and Knight were gaining first downs, you wouldn't have believed them.
Tiger Cats at the Argo 22-yard line. It's first down. Kerrigan checks off. It's Schremeyer again, and he squirts through to the 17.
That's a nice surge by Jason Riley. Dave Richardson, they blew out the line. Schremeyer had a chance, almost popped that thing, almost got through there.
Rocky with a 17-yard catch earlier, and his next catch will move him past Al Patterson into 6th place on the all-time list. The Rock, of course, leads all CFL receivers in catches.
Chris Gaines is out of the lineup. They're using a nickel package. They're trying to defend against this pass, man-to-man.
There's the pass to Schremeyer to the 10-yard line. He's knocked back, but I think he has enough for a first down. Chris Barber came in as the extra defensive back. It is a first down, Tiger Cats. Gaines came up, but Kerrigan still found a receiver.
Well, Ernie just leaned right into him. He wouldn't let him have that forward progress move back any further. That was a great play, a body lean after you catch the football to show the officials that he had enough yardage. Great play by Ernie Schremeyer.
Boy, you really did work with the shoe. He looks great out there this afternoon.
That was all my coaching when he was a junior. Actually, Al Gregory would probably take some credit for that.
Kerrigan with the play action. Lee Knight pushed out of bounds at the 5.
Well, Kerrigan's really working him now. He's putting 3 receiver formation into the short side of the field. He's running them off, and then he's just throwing to the short receiver. And they have to come up and make sure tackles, or he's going to pop it for the touchdown. But they're gaining ground as they go on. Nice surge by the line up front.
2nd down and 5 yards. They can make a first down, but it would have to be almost at the goal line. Play action. Kerrigan in the end zone. Touchdown. And it's the veteran Rocky DiPietro in 6th place all time now in receiving yardage, and he puts the Tiger Cats out in front 13-3.
Well, I know that looked like an easy pass, but from where we are, we could see right into Rocky DiPietro's hands, and he had to come underneath the football and make sure it didn't hit the ground. He cradled that ball. I think you've got a great angle on it here. Watch as he goes out and up. This is a wheel pattern, but watch the concentration get under that ball and bringing it back in. Way to go, Rocky.
Great catch for DiPietro, his 3rd touchdown of the year. Osbaldiston adds the extra point, and would you believe it, Ticats have a 2-touchdown lead. 35 years of age in his 14th year, the leading pass receiver catch-wise in the CFL, and now in yardage 6th overall, Rocky DiPietro. And right now, John Gregory might be able to run for mayor in Hamilton.
Well, either he or Rocky DiPietro. You know, Rocky blocks, he tackles, and he catches the ball.
Another short kick, this one floating up, and I think the Ticats may have it.
That's good football. That is good football. The last 2 kickoffs, they popped them up, had a chance for no return from Toronto's deep threat, and this time they get the onside kick.
Well, if the Argos are going to run them back past midfield, you might as well try the short kick, and it looks like John Moten got his hands on it.
That's a perfect kick by Ozzie. He gives his people a chance to get under it. That's really being alert. There's two people had a chance for that football, but Moulton came up with it.
Moulton had a touchdown last week against Ottawa. 25-yard kick. It must have gone 50 in the air. Kerrigan in trouble. Harding has him, and down he goes, and flags fly as well. Mike Kerrigan is 12 of 15 for 166 yards. Holding against the Tiger Cats is the call. Joe, the key, though, in that last scoring drive for Hamilton, they converted 5 straight second down opportunities.
Well, that's amazing. And what they've done, they've had a
66
offensive ability to run the football. They're making 5 yards or more when they run the football. That controls the defensive line. That makes the defensive line look for the run first.
The holding penalty against Miles Gurrell, you can see it on the left side of the screen, has been declined. They'll take the sack. Second down, 13. Kerrigan has 10 straight completions. Make it 11. And a first down, Rocky DiPietro. And once again, they convert on second down.
Well, what they did so well was that they picked up the blitz, and he put the ball right on the money. But by picking up the blitz, with their running backs coming in, taking the backers, they had a chance to deliver the ball. One of the things that Gregory promised that they would do a better job of is to pick up any of the rushing of the defensive backs or the linebackers on the blitz.
21 yards, the length of the reception for Rocky DiPietro. Brian Smith saved a touchdown with that tackle. First down, Hamilton. Lee Knight inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Harold Hallman, one of many Argos, in on the stop.
That's nice movement in there by Darrell Harrell and Sanderson and Riley. They're moving them back. They're getting those people moved back, and then that gives Knight and Schermeyer a chance to make their cut off of that nose tackle.
If you've just joined us, the starting running backs for the Tiger Cats both out, Herman Hurd and Ricky Martin, and we're not expecting either back. But the Tiger Cat offense hasn't missed a beat. Second down, 6. And what an impressive stat that is. 10 for 13 on second down. Kerrigan looking for Winfield and overthrows him. Great coverage there by Ed Berry.
Oh, the crowd wanted to have a little pass interference call, but they did get Winfield one-on-one, and when you get Winfield one-on-one, he's going to win most of those battles. Here, he couldn't get his shoulders beyond Ed Berry. You got to get your arms and shoulders through the defender and get him past if you're going to make a reception.
So it's third down, and as Baldiston back into the game, hit from 35 yards earlier, and this is another 35-yard attempt from right in front of the uprights. Dillon puts it down, and as Baldiston puts it through, and the Tiger Cats add to their lead. 5:28 to go here, second quarter at Ivor Wynn, and the Tiger Cats up 20-3. Yes, Labor Day in Hamilton, it usually spells victory, and so far today the Tiger Cats have responded. They lead 20-3 as they look for their first win since October the 14th of last year when they beat Ottawa 37-33. Since then, 11 straight losses.
And the Argos have hardly had the ball.
Argos have had the ball for 4 minutes, 48 seconds. Tiger Cats 19:47 as Dunnigan puts it on his hip and throws downfield, almost picked off. 2-0 Alipati almost had an interception as we go down to Scotto.
Chris, consider this to be a public service announcement for all import running backs in our audience. Do not come near Ivor Wynn Stadium. Stay away from here. It's dangerous. The Ticats have already lost both of theirs. We've talked about Ricky Martin. Herman Hurd is out for the day. They're worried he may have broken a bone in his lower leg. And the Argo bench is where Paul Palmer, the man the Argonauts were counting on filling the shoes of Mike Clemens, to sit for the rest of this game. He's pulled a hamstring. That means he's out for this one and perhaps then some. So there's a regrettable trend here, Chris.
I think it means we're going to see a lot more pass receiving this afternoon. Dunnigan knocked from behind. Is that ball alive? Tiger Cats are on it, but they're now saying incomplete. Dunnigan got that arm going forward.
Well, he alertly got the arm going forward. I'm not so sure he got it going forward until after the ball was knocked loose. But that's a sign of a good quarterback. Yeah,
Joe Campbell.
That's a good acting job. When that ball went loose, Matt threw that arm forward so that they would call it a incompleted pass, but I'm not so sure.
Third down. Olisic in, and Zatilny goes back for the Tiger Cats, and Wally was one of the Hamilton players that came out earlier today and said it'll be a world of difference this afternoon.
Wally can run, and when he gets loose, he makes things exciting out there. He will have a tendency to run east and west rather than north-south.
Argos didn't have enough players on the field, and they take a time count violation, so Olisic will kick from 5 yards further back. And Adam Rita can't be happy with what has transpired here so far in the first half.
Well, Adam is not very happy with any time that you have an AWOL player absent without leave. You're in trouble.
Olisic kicking it near sidelines, and Zatilny can't field it as it goes out of bounds. Back down to Scotto.
Well, Chris, for a few weeks running now, John Gregory's been a major story in the CFL. First for being fired by Saskatchewan, then for being hired here in Hamilton. On Live at the Half, we'll talk to Gregory about his quick CFL turnaround. And we'll go to McMahon Stadium in Calgary, where the Eskimos are set to meet the Stampeders in the completion of our CFL on CBC doubleheader on Labor Day. Scott Russell will preview that game for us.
Steve Armitage and Dan Kepley will also bring you the excitement of what should be a Labor Day thriller at McMahon today. And look at those numbers for Mike Kerrigan. I don't think he's had those kind of numbers since the '89 Grey Cup.
Well, this looks like the Grey Cup. He's having time to throw the football, and when Mike Kerrigan has time, he's going to find some people, but that's not going to make anybody happy. Time count violation because they didn't have the substitution in.
The goalie wasn't out in the field.
So we got a little bit of a problem on both sides of the field with the injuries.
Don't have enough offensive players.
I mean, that Nick Mazzoli was late getting in, but with those injuries, you have trouble sometimes realizing what team you're on, kicking teams and etc.
Winfield in the flat, knocked down right away. Reggie Pleasant with a fine defensive play, and that stops the Tiger Cats for a loss of a couple, and things are getting heated down there. Miles Gurrell's in the middle of it. The last couple of series, Gurrell's been going at it with Chris Gaines, and
they could find somebody smaller to fight with. This is almost prophetic that David Beckman said some people got to stand up and be counted. But wow, Reggie Pleasant, he was counted on that one.
Second and about 16, Schremeyer on the counter, and there's a flag down, and so is Schremeyer. He got back to the line of scrimmage. Darrell Ford, Rodney Harding in on the stop, and a holding call against the Tiger Cats to boot.
Penalty marker on the play.
Well, this is what John Gregory doesn't want to have. He wants to keep control of the game, not get into 2nd and 20, and now if they give him that holding call, it would be 2nd and 30. That's a long way to go. So they decline. I'm sure they'll decline the penalty. Nevertheless, 2 penalties on that series didn't help anybody.
Holding, Hamilton number 56. Penalties decline. Third down.
Holding call was against Dale Sanderson, but declined. And we have a timeout on the field. 3:02 left in the first half, and the Ticats up by 17. Welcome back to Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton, where the fans have probably done more Oski wee-wees today than the rest of the season combined.
Well, this is nice to see. What a great day for football. Enthusiastic crowd here. And they, you know, in order to not give up on your team after they've gone 0-8, that's a character test. And they're being rewarded today with the play of the Ticats.
You know, Joe, I've been listening to some of the call-in shows in Hamilton to gauge how the fans feel about this team, and they just wanted to see some direction. They were going 0-8, and they were concerned about going 0-11 and no changes, no new players coming in. Now Don McPherson, who we don't have in today yet, is here as another quarterbacking possibility. They've got a new coach, and I think the spirit here in Hamilton's going to pick up.
Well, they just want to know they have a chance to win.
That W will help if they could do it here this afternoon.
Well, it looks like they've got a great chance to win today.
Osbaldiston kicking on 3rd down and 15. And it hangs up for Ismail at his 45, and the Rocket has flags down, but plenty of running room. Rocket Ismail inside the Hamilton 40-yard line. Corus Urban with the stop, but there are a couple of flags on the field.
It looks like the only thing that can stop the Rocket is his own teammates for bad blocking.
That was a 34-yard punt, Joe. 27 yards on the return.
Illegal block for runner number 15, first down.
Oftentimes you lose your temper when you see these illegal blocks going on. It is difficult to go 50 yards downfield, and you've really got to, it's virtually like a strike zone. You've got only the front chest that you're allowed to block on, and anything below the waist, anything on the back, they're going to call it, and you got to keep your hands in.
They called it that time on J.P. Escuerdo. Argonauts try to get a drive going. Dunnigan can't find Darrell K. Smith in the flat. Bobby Dawson was out watching Darrell K. Smith. 3 of the top 5 current receivers are in the lineup today. Jeff Boyd and Darrell K. Smith of the Argos.
Watch Lorenz come in. This throw is way off, but they get in and they get a little bit of piece of him, just enough to disrupt him. I think Matt felt somebody coming on his backside.
Hasn't been able to get any flow going yet. Gets away from that flow. And Dunnigan will dive close to first down territory.
Well, there's the determination in Dunnigan. He's so frustrated and he's really upset. He wanted to get this club moving, and you saw him take in there. He might have won some points on that belly flopping contest. Look at him here. But he's going to make that first down. He's so determined that he's driving in for the first. They took a hard hit.
Just the second first down of the game for the Argonauts. And here we are with 2 minutes, 28 seconds to go in the first half. Dunnigan in the flat, and what contact there, and the Rocket couldn't hang on.
Of course, Irwin came right up and gave him a smack or a whack. He reads this play perfectly. Watch him come up and whack for the Rocket. And can't catch too many balls when a man's right on you like that.
John Gregory was saying we've got great speed back in the secondary. All they need is experience. 2nd and 10. Lots of time. Darrell K. Smith brought down at midfield. That is very close to a first down.
Well, we get the sense that what you're seeing by up front people with Hamilton, they're giving some pass rush. And they don't have to worry about Pinball Clements on the draw plays. I think it makes a difference in the Argos.
It is 3rd down, and the Argos short by about a foot. Dunnigan doesn't have anybody in the backfield, and he's calling an audible on 3rd down. But he will sneak forward and will move the yardsticks. He'd never pass off that in this situation, would he?
Well, that's part of their playbook, and I would think with the score the way it is, he wouldn't. But if he had a lead, I've seen Matt feel like he could go for that, and I know Adam Rita said he gives him the flexibility. If any one of those receivers is uncovered, he's allowed to throw to him.
Adam Rita has the no-huddle offense in gear now. Argonaut first down. Dunnigan swings it to Darrell K. Smith, and Dawson, with a good defensive play, holds that to a gain of perhaps a yard.
Well, Darrell K. doesn't like to catch the ball going laterally. He likes to catch that ball going upfield. And this is the reason why, because when Darrell K. breaks to the outside, that gives Bobby Dawson the leverage. He can come in and take a big, tall guy like that and just drag him down.
2nd down and about 7.5. And a completion to Ismail, well short of a first down, and the Tiger Cat defense looks like the black and gold of old. Corus Urban with another stop.
Well, somebody better control this Corus Urban. He's going to hurt somebody. I mean, he came in there, got the Rocket, watch him wrap the Rocket up, and then wrestle him down, and then hog tie him and throw him back down and put him back on his head and come back around again. And then he went back outside to get some help from almost the whole football team came over to try to help the Rocket. So I think that's a good sign to show what the Argos think of their teammate. But Corus Urban, he doesn't care.
That's the way the Tiger Cats used to play defense, Joe.
He's going to rope him and hog tie him and then slam him down.
Argos 3rd and about 3.5 will have to punt it, and Alyssa comes in. Zatilny deep for Hamilton. Trying to draw the Ticats offside. Flag goes down. Zatilny at his 7. Pushed out of bounds
taken by
Keith Costello.
The touch by Keith Costello.
Will await the flag.
Penalty marker on the play.
An illegal substitution called against the Tiger Cats. 39-yard punt, 13-yard return, but this could give the Argonauts a first down. Oh, wait, it's the other way. It's the Argonauts called.
It's against Toronto, and John Gregory saying, what's the penalty? Okay, John is pumped up today. I'm going to tell you what. You could sense yesterday when he was talking to that ball club about special teams that he was pumped up. He had cards all over the place. It looked like he had 52 decks.
Illegal substitution, Toronto number 88. Penalty is declined. First down.
He had cards drawn up for every punt block that the Argos use. He had cards drawn up for all the returns they were going to use. And he said, we're going to be better on special teams. And they have been. They made some alert plays, an onside kick. They really turned it around after that first quarter when they had the 2 long kickoffs.
Ticats said they came out of that meeting and their heads were spinning. All of a sudden, the confidence was back. They felt like they were a winning football team. Paul Massotti was called on the illegal substitution. Here's Schremeyer. And Don Moen, one of the first to meet him at about the 22-yard line. 1:13 to go here in the first half. And the Tiger Cats would like to kill the clock here and not give the football back to Toronto.
Well, you can see Chris Gaines getting up slow, Hallman getting up slow. That's the value of having the ability to get in there. You know, Moen made the hit, but there's a couple defenders that are gotten up slow, and it just controls that front when Hamilton blows out and lets those backs run up through there like they have in this ball game.
163rd straight game for Don Moen, one of the most durable linebackers in the CFL. 2nd and 8. Lee Knight, or Ken Avrere across the 25, but he'll be short of a first down.
That's my most unfavorite play in football. That short hitch pass out there and trying to get some lead blockers, because I think it just brings the defenders out with you. It's the play that the Ismail fumbled on, and it's, of course, also the play that Avrere had made some yardage on before. I just don't like it.
You had reason to not like it that time. There's 3 yards short of a first down.
I'd like to go north and south, up the field, not across the field.
Yeah. Okay. You know you made me roll up.
20-3, 50 seconds to go. Osbaldiston will kick it to the Argonauts one more time. And if Toronto can get some points on the board before the half, it could really set the stage for a different second half.
What they wanted to do is Paul Osbaldiston was going to let the clock run down, and Toronto alertly called a timeout. They want to get the ball in the Rockets' hands once more, but maybe Ozzie won't let it get there.
The Rocket will take it right at midfield. And look at this. Flag goes down, and so does Ismail at the 26-yard line. So the Argonauts will threaten pending this flag.
Making the tackle, a penalty marker on the play.
28-yard punt, 29-yard return, but once again...
There it goes again. The only people that can stop the Rocket are his own teammates on penalties. It's incredible. I would have a tendency to not block for Rocket if we're going to have that many penalties.
I'm not sure he needs it.
I don't think he does.
Brings it back to the 43-yard line, still in Hamilton territory. And the Argonauts have really not got untracked offensively. Darrell K. Smith has a first down, and he's wrestled down at the 30. Alapati and Irvin on the stop.
Well, this is where Dunnigan usually excels. Short time to go in the half or in the ball game. He likes to bring them up, no huddle.
This is Andrew Murray, and Murray will have another first down for the Argonauts. 21 seconds left. Alapati on the tackle. And Dunnigan looking like the field general we have seen over the years in this series. trying to make some noise to drown out the audibles of Matt Dunnigan. Into the end zone, and Corus Irvin got his hand on it and knocked it away. G.P. Escuerdo was the intended receiver.
Corus Irvin read that ball all the way, came off of his receiver, and nearly had an interception. That would have been a big, big play had he been able to pull that ball in.
Corus Irvin with the London Monarchs of the World Football League earlier this spring. And now Dunnigan goes into the end zone again. Masadi can't hang on. 1 second to go, and Masadi dropped the football in the end zone.
Well, that's shades of Jackie Smith in the Super Bowl. I mean, that ball was right in his hands. Well-delivered ball. Dunnigan was pressured, but he still got the ball off. And that thing just jumped right out of there. It's got points on it, folks. It's not round.
So on the final play of the half, the Argonauts will attempt the field goal. From the 22, Chomik is in. And Chomik 2 for 2 this afternoon. And what a first half for the Tiger Cats. 20-6 on top. They're 0-8 on the year, but they are threatening to win their first today. Hamilton with the lead at the half.
In a storybook first half, the Tiger Cats lead the Argonauts by 14. Well, conventional wisdom says coaches are hired to be fired. It may not be right, but it is a hazard of the business. Just ask John Gregory, who 21 months ago thought he'd never be asked to leave the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but he was, and as a result, he's coaching the Ticats in this game today. Things have gone well in the first half. He feels it's justice.
John Gregory took the Saskatchewan Roughriders where they hadn't been in 23 years, to the Grey Cup, and for a good measure, the Riders won it. 20 months later, it all went sour on Gregory. Saskatchewan starting quarterback Kent Austin went down in the first half of the Riders' first game. Without Austin, Saskatchewan couldn't function. The Riders were dispatched 62-10 by Toronto. And the next week, when they lost in the dying seconds to the BC Lions, the Riders' record dropped to 1-6. Gregory was called to pay. But in short order, he was hired by the Hamilton Tiger Cats, with whom he has signed a 3-year contract.
John, you were out of work a grand total of 8 days. Has justice been done now that you're back in the league so quickly?
Well, I don't know. I think it's an exciting thing. It's one of those things when you get fired and you wonder what's going to happen to you and whatever. I appreciate the opportunity.
You'll be credited with one of the great lines when you were fired. You said, "Hey, I got 3 kids in university. I need a job."
That's right. You know, and I do.
You think the Ticats heard you?
I don't know. I appreciate the call, and I'm looking forward to it. This is an extreme challenge, and it's going to be, you know, the players appear to be on site, and so it's going to be fun. We'll see what happens.
It's a challenge similar to the one you faced when you went to Saskatchewan in the late 80s.
Well, it looks exactly like that situation when Saskatchewan was at basically an all-time low, and right now this team feels like they're an all-time low, so we'll get in there and put on our bootstraps and see what we can do.
What do you think it is about the Canadian Football League that has seen almost half the coaches fired before Labor Day?
Well, I think that's, if the Canadian League is going to exist and if it's going to stabilize, I think that the powers to be have to understand that some years some teams are going to be good, and some years some teams are not going to be good. That's the nature of winning and losing, and that's the nature of ups and downs in football. And I think that the league has got to quit making the coaches the total scapegoats. I'm not talking about just myself. I'm talking about the league per se. They need to give opportunities for coaches to fight their way through tough situations.
All right, John, thanks for your time, and we wish you good luck in Hamilton.
Okay, thanks a lot, Scott.
His was the 3rd coaching change this season. The other 2, Joe Farragelli and Don Matthews, are thus far unbeaten, and John Gregory has 30 minutes left to keep that record unblemished. Through 30 minutes, the Ticats have done it on emotion under a new head coach, and they lead the favored Toronto Argonauts 20-6. One of the CFL traditions says the Eskimos play the Stampeders at McMahon Stadium on Labor Day, and this is a game that has everything going for it. Two good teams, a big crowd. It'll be the second half of our Labor Day doubleheader. Let's go to Calgary now to get a preview from Scott Russell.
Scott, here at Calgary's McMahon Stadium, Alberta is preparing itself for a football battle, and the early September weather is just perfect. The Calgary Stampeders and the Edmonton Eskimos are traditional Labor Day rivals in these parts, and today the game has an added measure of importance as first place in the CFL's Western Division is at stake. Right now, let's go up to the booth and join Steve Armitage. Steve is along with a guy who knows all about Labor Day in the West, Dan Kepley. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Scott. Hi, everyone. It is indeed my pleasure to be working with a man who patrolled the middle for 10 years for the Edmonton Eskimos. And during that time, you never really had to cover a guy like Alan Pitts.
That's the only reason I had a chance to stay in this league for 10 years, Steve, was not to be able to cover a guy like that. This is a fella that can do everything. He is absolutely awesome. Leads the league in receptions right now, the big play guy for the Calgary Stampeders. And as he goes today, so goes the Calgary Stampeders.
He certainly is a talent. When he hooks up with Danny Barrett, it is one of the best pass combinations in the CFL. You know, one of the fun things about covering the Edmonton Eskimos, we get to look at Henry the Gizmo Williams.
True excitement in this guy. The Giz right here has done everything for the Edmonton Eskimos. Instant field position, a death threat right now that can turn the game and be a game breaker every time he touches the ball on specialty teams.
The Gizmo, Henry Williams, and Alan Pitts, two of the key players that we'll be seeing in action here at McMahon Stadium this afternoon. Scott, back to you.
Okay, thanks, guys. From the booth to the Edmonton Eskimos boss in more ways than one. Joining me now, Ron Lancaster. And Ron, this marks the midway point of your return to coaching. Tell me, was it the right decision so far?
Well, you always say it's the right decision. You never want to look back. The past gains on you. You always look ahead. Don't look back. I think it is. I'm having a lot of fun.
The Edmonton Eskimos are 5-3. Today is the Labor Day battle with the Calgary Stampeders. If there is a game that is bigger than others, is this the one?
Well, I guess so. If you listen to all the hype myself, I don't really think so. You know, a football game is a football game. You have 18 of them to play. This is one of the 18, and you got to be ready to play them all. I think when you get to these classics and hype and things, that's media talk, fan talk. And I think when the fans talk, you know, the players get excited. So maybe from that standpoint, it's more important. But really, it's a football game that we have to play, and we have to win it.
All right, Ron Lancaster, thanks very much. Good luck against the Calgary Stampeders this afternoon. The Stampeders and the Edmonton Eskimos kick off here at McMahon Stadium in about an hour and a half from now. Right now, let's go back to Hamilton and Scott O. Scott?
All right, Scott, now we know the Eskimos are always a big draw at McMahon Stadium. Tell me, they're expecting the much-talked-about sellout there today?
Well, they've told me they've sold 31,000 tickets, and they are expecting a walk-up crowd of about 6,000. Add that up, it adds up to 37,000 people here at McMahon. That would be the biggest crowd in McMahon Stadium history. Maybe not a sellout, but certainly a record crowd here at McMahon for this Labor Day Classic.
Scott Russell in Calgary, thank you. 2 games, no waiting on the CFL on Labor Day on this CBC network. As soon as proceedings have concluded here at Iverwin Stadium, we will send you to Calgary for action between the Eskimos and the Stampeders. Lots of action, most of it on the Ticats side of the ball in the first half here at Iverwin. And to talk about it, here are Chris Cuthbert and Joe Galat.
Well, Scott, obviously Hamilton 0-8 coming in. We're struggling in a lot of positions. One was quarterback Mike Kerrigan, but we're seeing the old Mike Kerrigan today, Joe.
Oh, Mike Kerrigan's been able to do just about what he wants to do. He's even scrambled and done some things.
And he had 10 receptions in a row at one point. One of his favorite receivers over the years has been Rocky DiPietro.
Now, Rocky has one of those kind of a game tonight that everybody is happy with. Rocky, 15-year veteran. Look what he has to do here on a wheel pattern. He comes all the way out, up, and then he cradles that football, brings it back up, dropped to one knee, did a genuflect, and still caught the football in a forward roll. And a good spike by Rocky.
That's why he's number 6 now on the all-time list, moving ahead of Hal Patterson now. We've lost 2 running backs for Hamilton. Paul Palmer is out now for the Argonauts. It means a lot of passing, but shouldn't the defenses be in tune to that now?
Well, you would expect a lot of passing defenses dropping off, but I'm not sure that it's going to be that easy because Schermeyer showed some acceleration. Remember last week, they used the rocket in the backfield. I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto puts the rocket in the backfield, does some of that. So J.P. Escuero, also a running back for Toronto, but hey, they're down. Toronto's down, so they're not going to be able to do a lot of running.
Key third quarter coming up for Hamilton. They have been outscored so far this year, 58-12. in the third quarter. If they can get through that, they might win their first. Back downstairs to Scotto.
Well, Chris, the Blues Brothers were a big hit at Skydome, but what plays well in a working man's town like Hamilton is good old-fashioned rockabilly by a legend like Rompin' Ronnie Hawkins, who's on stage with his band now at Ivor Wynne Stadium. Assure you folks, Rompin' Ronnie Hawkins is in there somewhere. He's just not singing right now. The second half of this game at Ivor Wynne Stadium is coming up.
The halftime stats say it all so far. Look at the time of possession. 21 minutes, 50 seconds for the Ticats. The Argos 8-10. And interesting, Joe, the Tiger Cats have averaged 276 yards per game this year. They've got 253 in the first half of football.
Well, they haven't played like the Tiger Cats of those first 8 games, and special teams certainly have helped. And the idea of them establishing the rush, you can see almost as many rushes as they have passes. That has certainly helped the Ticats. Up front, they've been able to control a good defensive team in Toronto.
And the fans have enjoyed it. And yes, there are Argo fans here making the trip down the QEW, but they haven't had as much to cheer about so far today. Of course, the return engagement will be at the Skydome on Saturday night. John Gregory was lamenting the fact that he'd played the Argos twice this year with Saskatchewan. He still has 3 more meetings with them as a Ticat head coach. As the ball is kicked off, we're underway with the second half, and the ball picked up by Rocket Ismail, and his momentum takes him out of bounds at the 20, and it's been a frustrating day for the Rocket, who's fumbled once, and each time he's had a good return, it's been brought back by penalties.
If you want to credit somebody with the special teams, I think Paulus Balduson's the guy that deserves the credit. Well, he's been a magician out there on the kicking game. He's had the onside kick, he had the other short pop-up kick to Brian Smith, and now he kicked it to the out of bounds at the 20-yard line. I mean, there aren't many people that have done that to the Toronto Argos.
The Rocket coming into the game 3rd in combined yardage behind Willis Jaycox and Mike Clemens, who is out, and so is Clemens' replacement, Paul Palmer. Dunnigan will throw into the flat. There's his favorite receiver on this day anyway, Darrell K. Smith, but DK is brought down by Bobby Dawson.
Well, Matt Dunnigan had emptied the backfield. He had everybody split out on both sides, and you can see that he likes to throw to his inside receivers, but I don't think his inside receivers like to catch those 2-yard passes and then get beat up and thrown around.
Second down and 8. And Dunnigan to J.P. Escuerdo, first down, and he does the tightrope act before going out of bounds at the Ticat bench.
That's what Matt wants to do. He wants to spread out the defense, get the football to one of his receivers, and let him break a tackle. And that's what J.P. Escuerdo did. He got the football, broke a tackle, and was able to get up and make the first down.
Once again, the Argos operating without a huddle. And everybody out of the backfield, and it's a quarterback draw for Dunnigan. And he's passed Wiseman out to the 50-yard line, and it's a first down for the Argonauts.
Well, Matt's taking control. He's showing the offense that he's going to be the one to make the football work. And watch what Matt does. He drops back, shows past everyone, lets the rush come through, and now he has to beat Todd Wiseman for the first down.
John Moten finally brought him down over the middle. Andrew Murray can't bring it in. Watching him was Tuano Alapathy, who played for John Gregory in Saskatchewan.
Well, that was a tough pass. It's hard to catch a pass over the middle and have to go up high for it. If you can put it down around their hips, let them catch the ball and still maintain their running stride, it's a lot easier on the receivers.
Matt Dunnigan had just 16 passes attempted last week against BC. Said he hadn't had fewer passes than that in a game since he was 12 years old. Trying to get the aerial attack going now, but he's caught and brought down. And it's Michael Jones, the outside linebacker, with the sack. For Jones, his 3rd sack of the year.
Well, Michael Jones is starting to learn how to play. He was playing in the Arena Football League, and that's a very small court, should we say. Well, Michael Jones worked back in. It's a coverage sack. The downfield coverage was good. They dropped back in zones, and Matt couldn't find anybody open. Michael Jones is credited with the sack, but hey, his secondary did a good job of coverage.
Michael Jones, a native of New York, New York, as Hank Olisic puts that big foot into it, and it's right over Zatilny into the end zone, and Wally will kill a little of the clock and concedes the single point. So the lead now is 13 for the Tiger Cats. The Argos are up to 7 points.
Well, Mike Kerrigan would like to come back and establish the fact that his up front people are going to have some control over that defensive line and that front 7 of the Argos.
It's a 75-yard single for Hank Olisic, and that is his longest punt of the season. And there are the numbers for Mike Kerrigan. Starting fresh with a new head coach and playing with the confidence we've come to expect from Kerrigan in years gone by. Kerrigan on 1st down, and he has the receiver threading the needle near the 1st down area, and it's Nick Mazzoli with the catch and a gain of 11.
Well, Mike just put that ball like a dart right into the target, right on the numbers. That's a nice 1st down play. It's a nice way to start a drive. Now they're almost at midfield.
That's how he has spread it out today, Mike Kerrigan. Only 6% of the backs. They don't usually throw to the backs, especially when the running backs are on the sidelines with injuries. Earl Winfield can't hang on. Ed Barry draped over his back.
You mentioned throwing to the backs. I think that's one of the things that Jack Gregory will change. When John Gregory's in that offensive meetings, he's going to try to get the ball more to the backs. Winfield makes a good break, but I think Barry made a better one. He just broke up and hit him at the time when the ball was snapped. Watch Miles pushing away. All those offensive linemen have to do is make the guy take a wide circle, and you've got protection for your quarterback.
2nd down and 10, and as you can see, this has been the story of the game. The conversions on 2nd down, not this time though. Harold Hallman with the sack, and Rodney Harding came in to finish up. And the Argonauts get to Mike Kerrigan.
Well, there again, you wonder why the Ticats won't get back to that philosophy they had in the 1st half. Even though their backs are injured, I think they've shown some things. There you see a nice cut block. That's what you call a cut block, and I think Gorell really changed that up on Campbell. Unfortunately, the center didn't get as good a block, and it was a sack.
So once again, the Rocket is the lone man back for the Argonauts. Argos with the rush on, and they knock down Osbaldiston. Flags go down, the ball is out of bounds, and Reggie Pleasant going for the block, and he knocked Osbaldiston down. We'll sort out the penalty. 11:55 left in the 3rd quarter. 20-7, Hamilton leads. Contacting the kicker penalty against Reggie Pleasant will force Paul Osbaldiston to kick it over again. It's a 10-yard call and not a 1st down for the Ticats.
Well, Ozzie did a good job of winning the Academy Award, too. He was nicked, and he went down. If it had been roughing the kicker, he would have had a 1st down. Contacting the kicker, 10-yard penalty, not an automatic 1st down.
So after the losses for the Ticats, it's 3rd and 7 as Osbaldiston sends that one out of bounds, and we've got more flags down. Jim Kardash was jostling with Darryl Harley upfield, and this is turning out to be a typical Argo-Ticat battle because tempers are starting to flare.
Well, I think some of the young Argos didn't realize what the Hamilton Ticat-Argo game meant. Now they do.
Holding for runner number 27, 1st down.
Paul Nastasiuk was called for holding, and that is the flag that brings it all the way back to the Argonaut 22-yard line. But, Joe, I think we've seen signs that the Argonaut offense is starting to get on track. Matt Dunnigan is beginning to get a flow here.
Well, he's spreading the defense out. He's got empty backfield is what he calls it.
And he gives it to his most dangerous man, Rocket Ismail, and he's grabbed by Tim Jackson, brought down by a host of Ticats at the 35-yard line. A first down for the Rocket.
Well, whenever you see someone tackle the Rocket, you just feel that if they don't get him down, he's going to spurt loose, and if he ever breaks loose, I mean, it's all the way for a touchdown. You got to give him a bear hug and really bring him down because he's so fast.
Dunnigan comes out of the pocket, and he'll run for another first down up to the 48-yard line for Matthew Dunnigan.
Well, you notice, Matt, whenever he runs, he never slides in for the first down. Like a lot of quarterbacks will lead with their feet. Matt Dunnigan leads with his head. I mean, he wants to knock people down, beat up on linebackers.
Last week, Matt passed Russ Jackson into 6th place on the passing yardage list, and he'll throw now, and flags fly. Jeff Boyd was knocked down by Forrest Irvin, who's played a physical game in the secondary of the Tiger Cats, that time a bit too physical. That's the first time Dunnigan's gone to Boyd this afternoon.
Forward pass interference, Hamilton number 4, first down.
Jeff Boyd has been silent this afternoon, and I guess you have to credit Forrest Irvin on all other plays except that one for keeping him silent.
Pinball doing a little PR work here in Hamilton this afternoon. Argonauts could use him on the field. Dunnigan over the middle to Darrell K. Smith. His 6th catch of the game gets him down to the Tiger Cat 26-yard line. Darrell K. came into this game 195 yards shy of the Argonauts' receiving record held by Terry Greer. He has close to 50 on the afternoon.
Well, Dunnigan's doing a good job of changing up. He's getting the ball to the outside receivers, then to the inside receivers, using crossing routes.
First down for Dunnigan and the Argos. Wide open, J.P. Esquerdo inside the 10 and out of bounds at the 6. Bobby Dawson pushing Esquerdo out of bounds, but it's another Argonaut first down.
Jeff Boyd pushed off the 2 receivers. You can see Jeff Boyd here. He's driving people deep, and the only person to come up is the linebacker. Boyd gets a nice block.
This hurry-up offense has the Tiger Cat defense off balance, it would appear. First and goal. End zone, Andrew Murray, touchdown.
Pass is completed to Murray for the Argonauts touchdown.
Well, Dunnigan knew what he wanted to do right from the beginning. He got Andrew Murray breaking inside, and that is a football catch. That's a great catch by Andrew Murray. He brought that ball, and I think he caught the back end of the ball.
Joe, that's the same pass he missed a little earlier. The pass over the middle, stretching out, no mistake there, nor by Chomik. The convert's good, and so the score now, the Hamilton Tiger Cats 20, the Toronto Argonauts starting to get untracked offensively, now with 14. Welcome back to Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. Andrew Murray's 2nd touchdown of the season has the Argonauts within striking range of the Hamilton Tiger Cats here in the 3rd quarter. I mentioned at halftime, the 3rd quarter has been the worst for the Ticats this year, and they haven't looked much sharper in this one. The kickoff going to Logan at his 10. He's got great speed, and he's out to the 36-yard line. If he hadn't been knocked just off balance, that could have been a big one. 65-yard kick, 26-yard return, and the stop by Donovan Wright.
Andrew Murray is a receiver that most people don't hear much about because he hasn't received the football very often. He's had about 14 catches this year, but he's averaging over 20 yards a catch. It's his 2nd touchdown, and he's just a pleasant guy to be around. He's a team player. He plays all the special teams, and he is a fine receiver. He may not have the greatest speed. He's not as fast as the Rocket. He's not as tall as Darrell K. Smith, but when they throw him the football, he catches it.
That's Mark Dennis, the injured Tiger Cat linebacker, being attended to.
He really collided with Brian Smith. I mean, they had a head-on collision, and it looks like Mark Dennis had the worst of that.
Don't forget that immediately following this afternoon's game in Hamilton, we'll take you out to McMahon Stadium in Calgary. A near sellout crowd anticipated, and what a showdown. The Eskimos and the Stampeders, always a great rivalry, but this year it's extra special with the Stampeders at 6-2 and the Eskimos right behind them. Ronnie Lancaster, Wally Buono both have done great jobs, and
Well, I know Wally Buono's been prepped for that head coaching job.
Well, I
don't know how well you did prepping Ron Lancaster in the CBC booth, but I had Wally as my assistant coach for several years. I know he's ready.
I know you used to say he had one thing going for him automatically, is Italian, right?
I didn't like him because he was Italian. I liked him because I was Italian.
He's done a great job as the head coach in Calgary, and he's now the longest-serving head coach.
That's an amazing statistic that Wally Buono's the longest-serving head coach. He's only been at the job about 2 years, so that gives you an idea of the security in the coaching profession.
Mark Dennis walking off under his own power, and we expect to see him back in. Right now, the biggest cause of concern at the Hamilton bench is whether they can get this offense back into its first half gear. Collision there, and Lee Knight is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Don Wilson moved up from his defensive halfback position to make the stop with a little help from Brian Warren.
Well, that was probably the best hit of the night. Pardon the pun, but when you have new backs in the backfield, that's really tough. It's hard to adjust, and I'm sure what happened was Lee had a miscalculation.
Another pun like that, I'm going to throw a flag. 2nd and 10 and an extra deep back in for the Argonauts, read by Kerrigan, but Rocky couldn't hang on to the pass at his knees.
Probably the toughest pass. You know, when you try to bend over way down below your knees and catch a ball while you're running, it doesn't do anything for the stability of your hands, and that's what Rocky suffered from. He was down there, the ball hit him in the hands, but his knees got in the way.
So Osbaldiston comes back in. Ticats will have to give up the football. Osbaldiston kicking into the wind here, which is moderate, and the Ticats will have that wind advantage for the fourth quarter. Ismail from his 46. And he twists and turns again. This could be dangerous. Osbaldiston trying to cut him off, and they finally force him out at the Argonaut bench, the 20-yard line, and there are no flags. So the Rocket stands 29-yard punt, a 42-yard return.
Well, Adam Rita promised us yesterday that we would see a wall return, and that's exactly what we saw. They came downfield without having a penalty this time. They got a nice return out of it. But they set the wall. They set the picket fence of white jerseys, and you see the Rocket come right down following all of his blockers.
Paul Massotti with one of the key blocks there, and now it's out to Ismail again. He had trouble getting the handle on that one, but as a pickup of 5 at the 17. Ricky Royal, Tim Jackson stopping the Rocket that time.
Matt likes that hurry-up offense because it gives him the option of calling the audible from the line depending on where the defense lines up. He's reading the defense from the line of scrimmage, so he's got a good pre-snap read.
6 receivers, 3 left, 3 right, and Dunnigan calling the audible at the line.
Now he's changing up.
Just gets the play off.
Blitz.
End zone, Massotti, touchdown. And Massotti this time makes no mistake.
Well, Nick Massotti, that was a nice reception. What Matt Dunnigan did is he changed the coverage again. When he saw the defense come over, what he tried to do was go back to the weak side. So you can see him make the call, and then he came back weak, even though the blitz was on. Throw away from the blitz. That's what he did. That's a nice throw. Touchdown for Toronto.
Paul Massotti with the touchdown. Lance Chomick adds the extra point. And so the Toronto Argonauts have their first lead of the game. It's 21-20 for the Boatmen.
Dunnigan didn't have much longer. He delivered that football right on time.
Well, Paul Massotti was born in Hamilton. There's the price Dunnigan pays, but he'll take that any day.
You see, yeah, it's worth it. Look, just completed a touchdown pass. I changed the play 2 times.
Ricky Foggy on the celebration. And Masadi was celebrating as well. Denigan is 8 for 9, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns in this third quarter. The no-huddle offense is working.
That's what Dunnigan loves to do. He loves to be able to call the play according to how the defense lines up. And you saw him call a play. He saw the blitz coming, checked off of that play, went back to the slant on the side away from the blitz.
Angelisic with his 6 Grey Cup rings, laces it up and gets set to kick it off. Logan and Zatilny drop deep. And Wally Zatilny can't hang on to it. And he stopped inside the 10. So when things go bad, they start to really go bad. Don Wilson with the stop. And the Tiger Cats coming undone a bit in this third quarter, which has been their nemesis throughout the season.
And field position has a lot to do with it. They got some nice returns from the Rocket, turned that into 2 touchdowns. Now Hamilton's got their work cut out for them. They got a lot of field upfield here.
Wally's usually pretty reliable back there. Had trouble with that one, might have lost it in the sun. Kerrigan on first down through the arms of Ken Abraire. Incomplete. Chris Gaines, the middle linebacker, was watching Abraire.
Well, you can't throw that thing behind the direction the receiver's going because he just can't change directions fast enough. Football's much faster than a human. So you got to get it at least on his numbers or at least in the direction he's going.
I was amazed watching Gaines against BC at how deep he drops. He really gets around the field for a middle linebacker. 2nd and 10, Hamilton, and here come the Argos. Kerrigan gets it away, and Rocky DiPietro can't hang on. I think Rocky took a peek and saw a wide open field ahead of him.
Well, that could have been a touchdown. He was open all the way down the field. Had that ball been about a half a foot lower, I think Rocky would have been able to handle it. There's Campbell standing up, pretending he's a linebacker, and he and Warren have a stunt. Kerrigan did get the ball away, and it could have been a very productive play had he been able to get that ball down a little bit lower.
Instead, as Baldiston must punt from his own end zone, and the Rocket awaits at the 45-yard line of Hamilton. Not a great kick, and here comes Rocket. Stopped this time, tripped up well by Lance Trumbull. Ismail down at the 30, and the Argonauts threatening again. They have the lead by 1 in the third quarter. 2 second-half touchdowns by the Toronto Argonauts have put them ahead of the Hamilton Tiger Cats by a single point here with 6:15 to go in the third quarter. But the Argonauts are threatening once again. They have a first down at the Hamilton 29-yard line.
It looks like what the Argos have decided, since their running back is injured, they're going to go to those 6 receivers and just let Matt call from the line of scrimmage any adjustments off the defense.
Boyd, Escuerdo, and Ismail to the right side, 3 more to the left, and Dunnigan has lots of time. Here he goes. And he runs inside the 20 down to the 17. 2-0. Alapati with the stop. Dunnigan, first down. He's really got this offense charged now.
Well, it really puts the defense in a bind to have to cover from sideline to sideline on the receivers, and then that other dimension is a scrambling quarterback. There's just no defense for a scrambling quarterback if you're covering your zone.
That says it all in this third quarter. 9 first downs for the Argos. Hamilton yet to have one. And here's an interception by John Moulton. And boy, do the Tiger Cats need this. John Moulton out to the 20. And a big turnover for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. John Moulton's 2nd interception of the season.
Well, they had a blitz going, and I think Matt expected no underneath coverage because the blitzing backer came up. He's running the slant in, intended it for Mazzotti. Moulton just dropped right in front of him and made a super play. That's man-to-man coverage, and for John Moulton to be on Mazzotti and still make the interception, that's a pretty good football play.
Moulton's last interception was against Ottawa last week, and it was a touchdown. But this one almost as key. Kerrigan in the flat. He goes back to Winfield. And Winfield has the Tiger Cats' initial first down of the second half. And that's the guy you got to look for when you want to get the offense in gear for Hamilton.
Well, that'll pump them up, and they also have to run the ball. They've got to be able to give them a draw play, a sprint draw or a search. Yeah, Matt would like to have that pass back. It was a 5-man blitz coming at him, and he had a inside route to Masadi, but Moulton was in front of it.
5th interception this year that Dunnigan has thrown. The give to Lee Knight, and he's got some running room off the left side. Close to another first down.
You can see the Argos, they want to get that football back, and they're a little bit upset with each other. Looks like Knight's limping, and Gregory saying, come on, let's keep it, mixing it up. Keep mixing it up. Running game, passing game. Let's get the ball into skilled people's hands.
That was the key in the first half. If you've joined us late, the Tiger Cats started with a very impressive offensive thrust in the first half because of their running attack of Herman Hurd. Lee Knight will have the first down here before he's driven back. But Hurd is out, so is Ricky Martin, and Lee Knight has been recruited as a running back with Ernie Schremeyer. Holman and Gaines on that stop, but not before Knight has Hamilton's second first down of this third quarter.
They're getting a good surge in the middle. Sanderson's and Harley and Riley doing a good job inside to let that running back make his move.
Yeah, you can tell we're in Hamilton. First down, Tiger Cats. Schremeyer has some room. Nice deception play, and Schremeyer to the 50-yard line. Chris Gaines in on the stop once again.
Well, that's the old Statue of Liberty. It's the spinner play. They used to call it the spinner play, but it's the Statue of Liberty. Schremeyer makes the turn, comes around, gets good lead blocking. Riley was right up front, gave him a nice block, 8-yard gain.
Second down, 2 for the Tiger Cats. Lee Knight again, and he crashes to midfield, and another Hamilton first down.
Well, Sanderson is really going at it. He's having a little go-around there with Harding. Rodney Harding didn't appreciate that, but they are moving some people back, and they're starting to establish something. I think that running game really helps the Hamilton Ticats because their linemen have a chance to be aggressive before they have to pass protect.
Lee Knight, 6'3", 230-pounder out of the Burlington Junior Ticat program. Here is a wide-open Winfield, and Earl can't hang on. Well, the pass turned him around a bit, but that's one that Mike Kerrigan and Earl Winfield know that should have been caught.
Well, we've seen some of these today. I wonder if it's the rain. It's not raining. It's not the wind. I guess it's just such a nice day for football. Good job on the up front people getting protection. That's a nice job by Riley again on Harding.
That offensive line's done a solid job today, Joe. Last week they gave up 9 sacks against Ottawa, but they have been tough this afternoon.
They certainly have looked like a different offensive line today.
2nd and 10, Hamilton. Into the flat for Knight, and he'll have a first down, and Lee Knight has been a key aspect of this Hamilton offense. Darryl Ford tripped him up, but Knight stretched out.
Well, Darryl Ford has to come out and cover Lee Knight in the flat. He's getting picked. It's a little bit of a rub. So he's 2 steps behind, and then he slides down, makes the tackle, but not after Lee Knight makes the first down. Knight and Schremeyer, that's 2 good receivers coming out of that backfield.
Hamilton first down, Argonaut 49-yard line. Kerrigan looking outside, and Nick Mazzoli can't bring it in. That may have gone off his helmet.
Well, Mazzoli was right in there. He was in the middle of it. Plus had him on the outside. The sideline had him on the inside, and Kerrigan put the ball right on his head. That's a tough catch. You can't catch it with your headgear.
You need that tactified leather on the helmet to bring in that one.
There must be a way to do it, but I don't know that Reggie Pleasant wanted to help him out. Tactified, slow down and let it come into your hands, maybe.
2nd and 10 for the Tiger Cats. Kerrigan just gets it away. It's Ken Abraire inside the 40-yard line. He'll be well short of a first down. Don Wilson with the stop. 5-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down. And now John Gregory has sent Paul Osbaldiston out, I would imagine, to attempt the field goal against the wind.
Well, that field goal should be in the neighborhood of 46 yards. Osbaldiston has the leg. They could also have a fake off of this. John Gregory worked a long time on special teams yesterday.
It's a pretty stiff breeze. It's picked up throughout the day. This from 46. Osbaldiston's made it from 56. It is off the bar, and the play is dead off the bar. Well, it was just outside his range, and Osbaldiston went right down to check it out. He used the sand wedge when he needed a pitching wedge.
Just a little bit more of a sneeze, and that thing would have gone through.
Let's go downstairs and rejoin Scott Oak.
Well, Chris, in 1984, Rufus Crawford, then of the Hamilton Ticats, set a single-season all-purpose yardage record of 2,900 yards. The old man with the cane here, he's had a cane for most of the day. Pinball Clements broke it last year, 3,300 yards, and in a gracious move, the former star has a presentation to the current star.
Mike, I think you're a great football player, and I think you exemplify what the Canadian Football League is all about. And I'd like to present this ball to you. You're a great player.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Rufus. It means a great deal coming from one of the greats, both on and off the field, and I think that's the important part.
Rufus, I know you don't feel bad losing your record to a guy like Pinball who's so multi-talented.
No, I don't. Like I say, he exemplified what football is all about. You know, he goes out there and he plays a team player. He also strives for excellence, and most of all, he entertains people, and that's what it's all about.
On a related topic, when are you going to play again and get some more all-purpose yards?
Hopefully after this Saturday. I'm going to miss the next game, and hopefully after that I'll be ready. I'm going to have to undergo arthroscopic surgery either tomorrow or Wednesday, and after that, about a week after that, I should be running again.
Sounds like you're being optimistic, but we hope you're back then.
Optimism is what it's all about.
Thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Chris, thanks, Scott. You talked about arthroscopic surgery. Rob Skimp underwent arthroscopic surgery a little earlier this season, and he is down again. In fact, there are 2 Argonauts on the field right now, Skimp and Andrew Murray, after the first down pass from Dunnigan to Darrell K. Smith.
You know, those are 2 fine young ball players that were interviewed on the sideline by Scott Oak. I can remember Rufus Crawford and all the good things that he's done, and then to have the pinball come up and break his records and the way that Rufus has accepted that. I think that's a class by both of them, both good community citizens, but Rufus wrote a book called Rufus Baby, and I can't wait to read it.
You might be mentioned in that. I seem to remember him with some big games against the Montreal Alouettes and Concords. There's the injury to Murray, and it's from Darrell K. Smith, back of that left leg.
Many times when you're in a braced position, in other words, Andrew was blocking into his man.
That's his own up.
And then the Skimp is up. Skimp has had some problems with his knee, and then they had a pulled groin. I think every offensive lineman has been nicked by the Argos. They're really being held together there by some chewing gum and a little bit of glue, because every offensive lineman has been down. Andrew Murray's getting slapped around by his teammates. Darrell K. Smith just gave him a shot on the head, so I hope it's just an extension, hyperextension of the knee. When they're walking on it, it's usually a good sign.
Talked about the offensive lineman. How about Dan Ferroni? He's got a hamstring problem, Achilles tendon, bone spur in the foot, but he's out.
Big guys never get hurt. Andrew Murray's almost a big guy, but you know, playing slot back, not quite in that same category. Those guys play for each other.
Now, how can you be sleeping on an afternoon like this with great game out there?
Well, maybe one of them is playing for that little girl.
So Jim Kardash comes in from the University of Western Ontario to replace Rob Skimp. And Paul Nastasiuk will replace Andrew Murray. And it's first down for the Argonauts. And Dunnigan into the flat for Jeff Boyd, his first catch of the afternoon. And he has 3 yards, pulled down by Ricky Royal. Jeff Boyd, one of the class acts in the CFL, 5 1,000-yard seasons, retired in June, but he's back, and he runs with that great boys club program in Compton in Los Angeles. Dunnigan, second down and long, has J.P. Esquerdo, and he's pulled down by John Moten, but Esquerdo has a first down.
Dunnigan's like to go to the wide side of the field like that because he's had the flat open all day.
That's the end of the third quarter. It wasn't a good one for the Tiger Cats. They relinquished the lead, and the Argos are up by 1. Welcome back to Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton as we get set to start the fourth quarter. Argos up by 1. They have the football. The Hamilton Tiger Cats will have the wind advantage in the fourth quarter. Dunnigan on that quarterback draw, and for the second time in the game, he works it effectively. It's a first down at the Hamilton 45.
Well, that's their running attack. That is how the Argos have had the ability to run in this ball game. They spread everybody out. You can see the Argos have started to inch up on those statistics. At the time of possession is interesting.
Just 51 yards of offense for Hamilton in the third quarter. There's Darrell K. Smith again inside the 30. Smith has a first down.
Well, Matt's working him really well. He's giving him the threat of the quarterback scramble, and then he'll come right back and throw an inside cut when those backers are looking at him. This is a nice job right into the seam for Darrell K.
Had a couple of touchdowns in the first meeting this year. 41-18, Argos won it. First down, Dunnigan just got it away, and Darrell K. Smith can't hang on. They really came on Dunnigan that time. Michael Jones and Alapati arrived just as Dunnigan got the pass away.
Well, they had the blitz on, and a free safety came up. Todd Wiseman came up, and then they blitzed from the outside with the backer, and they really got a piece of Matt Dunnigan from the blind side. And quarterbacks don't like to get hit when they don't see it coming.
2nd and 10. The fans making noise as Dunnigan calls the play. And Dunnigan had to hurry the pass. Romel Andrews was bursting in, and Dunnigan threw it away. Back downstairs to Scott Oak.
Chris, it's a long injury list that this game has produced. Already includes the Hamilton running backs, Hurd and Martin, the Argonauts running back, Paul Palmer, Argonauts safety, Dave Van Bellingham, and now you can add to it Andrew Murray, the Argonauts starting slot back. He has sprained his left knee, will not return to this game, and his status for the second half of this home-and-home series Saturday evening in Toronto is also questionable.
Lance Chomick will attempt a 39-yard field goal. Blaine Schmidt is the snapper. Dunnigan is the holder. It's from 34 yards out, correction, and Chomick makes no mistake.
Well, Chomick's come back from that foot injury, and he's really hitting his stride. This game, with all of the injuries, you have to start to wonder. Some of these clubs are playing 4 games in 16 days, Chris, and those injuries go up and down. That's why you see special teams short. That's what Dunnigan's saying. I got hit twice, Coach. Look, now, I mean, I don't mind getting hit once on any drive, but don't let me get hit twice from the back. I mean, let's block some people up out there. He's telling the coach he needs some blocking.
This program is copyright and strictly for the private use of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or retransmission in whole or in part without the written consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited. As Don Wilson supplied the coverage, and Mike Kerrigan was belted.
Mike Campbell, I think, took advantage of the inopportune position Kerrigan was in after throwing that football.
Major foul, roughing the passer, corner number 99. First down.
Kerrigan was looking for Ken Avrera, and Mike Campbell is called 15 yards.
Mike Campbell's coming in over Miles Gurrell. Watch what he does. He just takes a shot at him after the play, and Miles is really upset now.
Be interesting to watch 66 working against 99 on this play. Kerrigan quickly off to DiPietro into Argo territory at the 45. Chris Barber with
the value of that running game. Now they got the backers thinking run, and he put the ball right out there to Rocky. Right in the seam, the backer had no chance. Chris Gaines, the middle backer, trying to come over to help, but Don Moen had already looked for the run.
Hamilton looks a lot sharper here in the fourth quarter with the wind at their backs. Kerrigan, Winfield, with the catch and down at the 23. Ed Berry with the defense for the Argos, but Earl Winfield has another big reception.
Perfectly executed throw behind. I'm not sure that wasn't a called play. Winfield comes down. Let's see if yeah, that was a called play. Winfield came back for the football. That's called a throw behind. You get the defender running down with you. You stop, come back and catch the ball. Nice delivery by Kerrigan.
22 yards on the last catch for Winfield. First down, Schremeyer. Still going inside the 15. I'll tell you what, you did a pretty good job with Ernie Schremeyer.
Well, the shoe learned some things at Purdue as well.
Great second effort here.
Well, he's a load. You know, he drops that shoulder and he keeps driving. He looks like Earl Campbell, number 34. And he breaks tackles. He knows where the goal line is. That's what a lot of young backs don't know. He goes straight up the field towards the goal line.
Just 5'10", 215, but he has been running like a ton this afternoon into the end zone. And a big defensive play by Ed Berry that's infuriated this crowd. Berry all over Earl Winfield, and the fans don't like it.
Well, technically, what the official says is that both people have a right to their side of the field. But I think there was some contact made. By the rule book, contact can only be made 1 yard from the line of scrimmage. That very easily could have been called either way.
3rd and 1, and the Tiger Cats are going to gamble. This could be a big play in the football game. Kerrigan straight ahead, and they got a good surge. That should be enough.
Well, you know, that's push him off the, push him back. That's what that offensive line did. They just pushed him back. Sort of like pushing a car off the railroad tracks.
Sanderson, Harley, Riley, Richardson, Gurrell, the offensive front that surged ahead and gave Kerrigan room for the first down.
Kerrigan's got some authority in his throws coming back in his 4th quarter. I think you unjinxed him, Chris.
You know, Miles Gurrell said, we're not going to hang our head today. We've been doing that too often. Kerrigan in the end zone. Rocky DiPietro.
Oh, and John Gregory is happy.
Second touchdown of the game, 4th of the season for Rocky DiPietro.
Well, watch Rocky break on this thing. He knows the blitz is coming. He just breaks it off to the outside. He knows he's one-on-one. That's a nice pass route. Broke it off to the outside.
And I'll guarantee you, Joe, that's the best Oski Wee-Wee at Diver win this year so far. Osbaldiston with the convert, and the Tiger Cats are back in front. 10 minutes, 22 seconds to go, 4th quarter. Cats looking for their first win of the year. There's Rocky, 5 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns, Joe.
Oh, that's Mr. Hamilton, but watch what happened here on the blitz. Chris Gaines tries to come all the way around. He doesn't have enough time to get it. Kerrigan drops back. He throws the ball before Gaines gets there. Look at this. You don't even have to block for Kerrigan. But Mr. Hamilton, Rocky reminds me of Hamilton. He's tough, good looking.
Osbaldiston kicks it off, and it's Darrell K. Smith inside his 10. And good coverage by the Cats, a late hit. Darrell K. Smith stopped at the 26, and I'm amazed no flags were flying that time. 68-yard kickoff and a 21-yard return.
Wow. Darrell K. Smith paid the price, as they say, on that return. He not only got hit by the people in front of him, he got hit by the guys who missed him the first time.
What a football game we've had this afternoon. More to come later from McMahon Stadium in Calgary. The Stampeders and the Eskimos. But this one's far from over. Dunnigan. J.P. Esquerdo can't hang on. Bobby Dawson, the big hitter in the defensive secondary for the Tiger Cats, rocked Esquerdo.
And credit Mitchell Price for coming in there, getting his hands up. Rommel, Andrews, both of them are trying to give some pressure to Dunnigan. Oh, that's a nice effort. Not a very Not a very solid play, but Bobby Dawson made a great effort and disrupted Esquerdo.
2nd and 10, and the crowd chanting defense, but Masadi is picked off. Tim Jackson with the interception as he cut in front of Masadi. So the Tiger Cats have the lead and the football. 9:39 to go. The rookie from Nebraska has his 3rd interception, 2nd of the game for the Cats, 4th turnover by the Argos, Joe.
Well, Adapati didn't get there. He's trying to come in here, and what a great play by Jackson playing the inside on that, and he takes the ball away from the receiver. He just reaches up, takes the ball back. Nice reception, takes it away from the receiver. The blitzing backer for the 2nd time in as many big plays in this ball game didn't get there. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Especially if Tim Jackson is your defensive back. Is he happy?
This game turned back around for Hamilton on that interception by John Moten, and now with Tim Jackson's pick, the Ticats have a chance to reestablish something here. 18,461 on hand. Not as many as they'd like, but more will come if they keep playing like this.
Nothing like a turnover to get a team fired up.
DiPietro again, inside the 40, and it takes 3 Argos to haul him down.
Every time Rocky catches one of those passes, you have to credit Schermeyer and Knight as running backs for keeping those linebackers worried about the running game. That just opens it up for that inside route of Rocky DiPietro.
6th catch of the year of the game for Rocky. 1st down, Ticats. Winfield has it at the 30. Darryl Ford brings him down. Gain of 6 for Earl Winfield.
Well, Darryl Ford made a big play. If it wasn't for Darryl Ford, he broke that tackle on Ed Berry. That would have been, he'd have gone all the way. Berry missed him. Darryl Ford came over and got him, or he might have had a touchdown.
Darryl Ford recruited by Mike McCarthy when McCarthy was still with the Ticats, but when McCarthy moved over to the Argos, he signed up Darryl Ford for the Argos instead. 2nd down, Lee Knight, 1st down and more. Knight, touchdown. Please. 30 yards for Lee Knight, who came into the game as a slot back and now as a running back.
That's a great effort by Lee Knight. He broke it to the outside, came off of Don Moan, all the way down for the touchdown.
Brian Warren had a shot at him, and Knight dove for the end zone. What a great run. Undoubtedly the longest of his CFL career. Osbaldiston adds the extra point. And the Tiger Cats now lead by 10. It's 34-24.
That's a great effort by Lee Knight. That's his first rushing touchdown. He's been playing as a slot back, but he's in that backfield, breaking tackles and coming out around there. What he did, they put the triple formation. They put 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, and Kerrigan had the coverage playing over the top. And Lee Knight just put his shoulder down, took off right around the end.
And Joe, another first here this season, standing ovation for the Tiger Cats.
Well, that must feel good for the Ticats. You know, John Gregory's happy that the Hamilton Ticats, they practice hard every day. It's not easy to be 0-8. They practice just like the team that's 8-0.
Argos down by 10, but still lots of time left. 8:15. Darrell K. Smith is really hit at the 30 by John Moten. A flag goes down. 66-yard kickoff. Smith 21 yards on the return, and he is slow to get up. There's the hero of the moment, Lee Knight.
Lee Knight What they did, they had 3 receivers out here.
Illegal block.
And
number 23.
Kerrigan came back, gave the ball to Lee Knight, got a good lead block by Schermeyer, and he's gone for the touchdown. You see him just throw people out of the way. Just drop that arm, that shoulder, push him out of the way, and now just drop right into the flag for the touchdown.
Joe, a clipping call against the Argonauts, so they're back at their 12. Over the middle, complete to Masadi. Masadi loses the ball, but the flags are flying because there was a face mask infraction on Masadi that caused the fumble.
Marker on the play.
Boy, that one stood Masadi up as somebody grabbed his face mask as he came across the middle.
Well, you know, the Ticats had his own coverage, and they just all broke up. It was like Masadi had to go through about 6 trees, and one of those trees reached out, grabbed him by the face mask, and then the rest of them collapsed on him.
Major foul, face mask. Hamilton, number 42. First down.
John Moulton called. We may get a look at the face mask on Masadi. Watch the head go on a swivel.
Oh, you can't do that, John. Well, nevertheless, it wasn't one of those that twisted the bucket all the way around, was it?
You know, Joe, the Tiger Cats were the least penalized team coming into the game, and that just doesn't sit well in Hamilton, so they're trying to make amends here.
Well, when you wear black, you got to get more aggressive. You got to be like the Raiders and the LA Kings. You got to get some penalties.
Well, Wayne Gretzky's watching this afternoon. He doesn't want the Ticats to look like the Kings. He's getting ready for that tilt tonight. Team Canada and Team USA. Here comes the rush, and they've got Dunnigan. Michael Jones went through cleanly.
Michael Jones says, hey, this is just like arena football. I'm going to come right through these guys. They can't block me.
He's got that arena football visor.
Michael Jones, New York City. New York, New York.
And he just mugged Matt Dunnigan.
Well, I think Matt alertly saw him coming, so he protected the football.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Dunnigan under pressure again. John Moulton has him.
Where did this Hamilton team come from? John Moulton has been making big plays. He made up for that face mask penalty with this latest sack. Now they have to punt.
Moulton had a key interception earlier, a big sack there. 2 in a row against Dunnigan.
Those guys from Akron, Ohio, they tackle like that.
Ramel Andrews, 93, flushed him out and helped John Moulton complete the sack, and Alyssic comes in. 6:46 to go. They almost got the block on the punt. It's Satilny at midfield. And he's pushed out at the 48. A flag flies. And we'll sort that out for you when we return. It's the Ticats by 10 with 6:35 to play. They're expecting a full house at McMahon Stadium in Calgary this afternoon. There's our live shot as the fans start to come in, and immediately following our game at Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton, we'll take you to McMahon for the matchup between the Eskimos and the Stampeders. What an entertaining football game we've had here in Hamilton. It's Labor Day, and we wouldn't expect anything differently. The 0-8 Tiger Cats are trying to knock that 0 out of the column and put their first win on the board.
And that battle for Alberta might be just as much fun.
Stamps trying to stop a 2-game losing skid. First down, Tiger Cats. Kerrigan looking for Winfield. He's there. Out at the 27-yard line, and Winfield's been the most dangerous receiver for the Tiger Cats. He got in behind Chris Barber that time.
But what he did, he ran a perfect route. Watch his route, and watch where Kerrigan puts the football. Right in, he dropped it right in there. Winfield and Kerrigan teamed up. They both know each other so well.
33 yards for Winfield. First down for the Tiger Cats at the 27 of Toronto. Schremeyer right up the middle, and Rodney Harding pulls him down, but Schreemeyer's to the 20 and a pickup of 6.
Well, here's the Ticats that average about 15 points a game with 34 points on the board, and they're knocking on the door again. I mean, how do you figure that?
They're trying to snap an 11-game losing streak that dates back to October 14th of a year ago.
Nobody's happier about that than John Gregory.
Kerrigan complete again. That's Kenneth Rare with a first down at the 11-yard line. Mike Kerrigan now 26 of 37 in the football game. And he's used everybody. Abrere, Knight, DiPietro, Winfield, Mazzoli. 243 yards passing for Kerrigan.
What's impressive about Kerrigan is he's thrown some deep passes, short passes, good timing on his routes.
First down. Winfield in the end zone. He's out of bounds. What a great catch by Winfield, but couldn't get both feet in.
Well, I'm glad he didn't run into that little corner that's chipped away over there. There's a little chip on both sides of that end zone that have been controversial sometimes in the league, but he clearly didn't have it before he got to the chip on the end zone.
Ball at the 11-yard line. Second down for the Tiger Cats. 4:50 to go.
The Ticats have an octagonal-shaped end zone. It makes for interesting deep patterns.
Kerrigan can't find anybody, and down he goes. He got across the line of scrimmage to the 10.
Harold Holman on the tackle.
Campbell and Warren there. Hallman, Gaines, they all converge on Kerrigan.
He wanted to go up again, and the coverage didn't let him. The defenders from the Argos stayed right with him. And Gregory saying, that's all right, a field goal at this time, not too bad. Wish we could have had a touchdown, but we'll take the field goal.
As Baldiston will try this from the 17, trying to make a 10-point lead a 13-point advantage. And that one is routine for Oz, and it is. Hamilton 37, Toronto 24. 4:12 left, and the Argos need 2 converted touchdowns.
Well, what do you do now when you're the Ticats? Do you kick away to the Rocket? Or do you do one of those crazy pop-up kicks? I'll bet he'll do a pop-up kick.
It's already worked once for a turnover today.
Well, they've gotten it to Smith, Brian Smith. They've gotten it to Darrell K. Smith. They don't want to get it to the Rocket because of his speed. And to control the ball game now, they want to make, I don't even think they care if Toronto scored. They just want to make them take a lot of time to get into the end zone.
You know, it's amazing, Joe, the Argos came in here with 195 more points in 8 games. They were on pace to score 718 this year. The Ticats, till today, were on pace to score 279. But it's the Ticats that have done most of the scoring today. Big kick by Osbaldiston, and Smith from his own end zone. They'll try the reverse. Ismail bounced right off Alapati, and he is stopped, still going. Now he's down. Boy, they had 3 shots at him before a Rocket finally went down.
Well, if you don't think the Rocket's fun to watch,
and
he broke about 4 tackles on that play, and you always get the feeling that if somebody doesn't wrap him up, that he's got a chance to go all the way. This is a little dangerous reverse. It's a pitch-out reverse rather than a handoff. He breaks 1 tackle.
There's another.
And another few, and he's still going. But unfortunately, his teammates had a holding penalty.
Again. So they start deep. Covered up there. Ricky Royal with the hit as soon as Ismail caught the football.
That's your favorite pass play, isn't it, Chris?
It's not yours. They got to go north-south.
They've got to get upfield. I think John Gregory had a good point. He changed the uniforms. He had them draw new uniforms.
Second down. They convert to Darrell K. Smith across the 25 up to the 27. Smith's had a pretty good afternoon, and he has a key first down for the Argos now.
Well, Adam Rita knows that whenever they need to get out of trouble, Darrell K. Smith is that veteran receiver with some size. He can break tackles. He can make some yardage.
9 catches, 93 yards for Smith, and there's Masadi breaking a tackle and another, and down he goes at the 48. Another Argonaut first down. Now under 3 minutes to go in the football game, a timeout on the field, and the Ticats in the lead. Well, Matt Dunnigan will have to really work some magic in the last 2:54. Dunnigan with 241 yards passing today, 73 yards rushing. No question the Argonauts have a potent attack that could be dangerous. Whether they can beat the clock at this point is the question.
And I'm sure John Moulton and Tim Jackson are looking for some interceptions.
Out in the flat to Ishmael, breaks one tackle. Royal and Jackson combine on that stop.
Well, the rocket's coming down, and he just stops. And with his speed, he makes people lay off of him. And you need 2 people to make sure that he is tackled.
Rocket's 6 catch, 44 yards. Dunnigan over to survey the measurement. I was interested in hearing Adam Rita say we are very conscious in how much we get the ball to Ishmael, how much we get it to Darrell K. Smith, and when Clemens plays, they try to divide it 3 ways. As you can see, it is a first down for the Argonauts. Coming into this game, Clemens, Ishmael, and Darrell K. Smith all had 28 catches apiece, so they really do have it down to a science.
They charted on the sidelines. Adam has one of his coaches chart how many times he calls it his guns. How many times my guns get the ball. And they try to get it around to everybody.
He needs all guns firing now. First down. Dunnigan over the middle. It's picked off. And John Moulton has his second of the game. Look out. Moulton down at the 33. Matt Dunnigan made the tackle himself.
Well, John Moulton stepped right in front of that ball. He read the play perfectly. But what's impressive about Moulton, it's not only that it's his second interception, he comes in front of Smith, but watch him run after he catches the football. This guy could be a running back. Watch him twist and turn. Straight arm. Get rid of people. Jump over people. Dive. Drive. Survive. Watch him go. This guy, he's still going forward. Matt Dunnigan had to make the tackle.
Matt saying, I can play linebacker too, you know.
What a play by Moulton.
First down, Cats, as they try to put this first win away, but Schreemeyer's pulled back. As impressive as that run by Moulton, I'm even more impressed that you felt he had a chance at an interception before the play was made.
Well, I know he was playing back, and he's trying to read the quarterback, and he's made some big plays in the last 2 weeks that we've watched him.
No gain on that play for the Tiger Cats, maybe even a loss of 1. Second down. Clock is running. 2:12 to go. Short drop, Kerrigan for Winfield. And he has it inside the 5. Chris Farmer stopped him. Otherwise, Winfield was in the end zone.
Well, we talked about Earl Winfield at the top of being one of those players that was a key to this football game. If Kerrigan has somebody he can rely on, and that's Winfield. He got his arms, shoulders past him, went up to catch the football, nearly scored. Nice celebration in there, Earl.
9th catch, 141 yards for Winfield, and no wonder John Gregory's smiling.
Was that a smile?
We'll call it one. Lee Knight to the 2.
Knight, the ball carrier.
You know what John Gregory's saying? If I'd have had Kent Austin the whole year, I might have been somewhere else.
He'll take it this afternoon, though.
Well, I think he likes Hamilton. I think he likes the young players. He told us yesterday he's excited about the youth on this team and their talent.
I'm surprised they'd hire Johnny. Beat them in the '89 Grey Cup. He was with Winnipeg in '84 when the Bombers beat the Ticats in the Grey Cup.
That's why they hired him.
Into the end zone. Winfield, touchdown. He got both feet down that time. Yeah, it's thumbs up in Hamilton again.
Look at the Ticat fans. Are they happy? Football's back in the Steel City. I'll bet you they won't let Dave Braley move this club. Barber tries to stay with him, but that ball is perfectly thrown, and Winfield knows right where that sideline is.
As Baldiston adds the extra point, they average 15.5 points per game till today. They have 44 and a 20-point lead.
And that Tiger in the cage at the end of the field is moving around. He used to just lay there and sleep, but look at him. He's jumping up out of that cage. Kerrigan just runs a fade pattern. Watch Winfield. He knows where the short corner is on that end zone. That's perfect. That's a perfect catch.
10th catch of the game for Earl Winfield. And it's a 20-point lead with 90 seconds to go. As I was saying earlier, Joe, you listen to the talk shows, there's fans here, but they wanted to see some progress. They wanted to see something change, and John Gregory has brought them that change.
Well, I think Mike Kerrigan had something to do with it as well.
Absolutely. As Baldiston over Kevin Smiley's head into the end zone. And Smiley better pick it up or this could be, well, he'll concede the point now. That's a free ball in the end zone. And the Argos concede another.
Who concedes a single point.
It's now 3 converted touchdowns and everything's going Hamilton's way. Here's the reaction to the touchdown.
All right, John knows he put that one on ice with that touchdown. Now, how's it feel, John? Yeah, who cares? Who cares?
Great entertainment in Brian Timmer Stadium. Right next door, right after the game. We'll see you there.
Plenty of heat on Mike Kerrigan. Don McPherson is here now, and expectations about the great Syracuse quarterback taking over, but Kerrigan stated his case this afternoon as well. Ricky Foggy is in at quarterback for the Argonauts. Foggy sails that pass high. Foggy came in relief of Matt Dunnigan in the first game of the year when Dunnigan was hurt, and he had a spectacular evening against the Tiger Cats at the Skydome.
Yeah, Foggy ran all over the field in that first meeting with the Ticats, but this time he just dropped back, tried to put the ball out to the slant pattern. It was way overthrown. Watch Foggy run if there's nobody open on this one.
We had Wayne Gretzky in studio at Sports Weekend yesterday. He said it'd be nice if Hamilton did well today, but I'm not sure he'd be too happy with this. Foggy. Downfield for the Rocket, pushed out of bounds by Forrest Irvin, right by that retaining wall. And Forrest Irvin's made his presence felt against Rocket Ismail today.
Well, Corus is right with him. He's with him all the way. Sets on when Foggy starts to scramble. Now he comes back and makes up for lost yardage. Ismail's down. So is one of the cheerleaders.
Boy, we've had injured running backs and wide receivers and maybe a cheerleader down there. It's been a tough afternoon.
Well, it's been frustrating afternoon for the Rocket, I'm sure. He would like to have a couple of those plays over again.
Tiger Cats have called a timeout with 1:07 to play. John Moten coming back on the field. And John Gregory saw something out there he didn't like. And that's one of the first times we could say that in the fourth quarter.
I think what John Gregory saw was that they weren't going to punt. He had sent out the punt team. When the punt team came, when the offense on Toronto's side stayed on the field, he called a timeout so he could get his defense back out there.
Joe, I think what's remarkable about this performance by Hamilton today is they gave up a big lead. And with a team that was 0-8 and then suddenly behind the Argos, I thought they might fold the tent. Alapati can't bring down Escuerdo, but Dawson does. And they'll be short of the first down. The Argos
That was a character win, I think is what you're saying, Chris. You had to come from behind twice. You had to think that the Ticats were behind when this ball game started, and then to lose their lead in the third quarter, they had to come from behind again. So I think there's a lot of credit to the character of the Ticats. But like we say, when you change coaches, sometimes that wakes people up.
Another standing ovation as the defense comes off the field. John Gregory told his team, we're starting over.
Hats off to Coach Gregory. They already got a new sign.
They already got the signs going here. Lee Knight off the left side. Not much running room there for Knight, who has a 30-yard touchdown run to his credit today. Chris Gaines with the stop. Well, the Tiger Cats are going to have to go back and do some recruiting at running back. I think Knight would prefer to play slot back in the next game, but Herman Hurd went down. Ricky Martin went down.
Well, that's the unheralded Lee Knight. Certainly played a great ball game, and Ernie Schermeyer, the two of them, I think stepping in, they probably got very few reps. They probably spent the whole week pretending they were the other team's, you know, like Toronto's opponent. They were working on the scout team. They got very few reps of the Hamilton offense, so they had to go in there, do the things that Hamilton does instead of the things that Toronto does.
Just a reminder that immediately following this game, we'll head out to McMahon Stadium, a near-capacity crowd expected. Ron Lancaster's Eskimos against Wally Bono's Stampeders, a showdown for first in the West. You know, you can be 0-8 in Hamilton, but if your first win's against Toronto, it feels a whole lot better.
When you beat Toronto, that is cause for celebration. Harold Ballard used to send them downtown for a celebration every time they beat Toronto.
It's been a tough afternoon for Chris Schultz and the rest of the Jeff Boyd there.
It's only the half of it. Remember, they have to play again next week.
Kerrigan looking for Mazzoli. Just didn't turn around in time. Otherwise, he might have had a big catch.
With the win, you would think that Osbaldiston would have a shot at a field goal here.
Well, there's no doubt the Tiger Cats have some weapons. Adam Rita said this team has a lot of little things that need correcting, and John Gregory in 2 days has corrected much of what needed help.
Maybe just turn their attention to on-field. I'm sure Gregory, with his probably a 2-hour practice yesterday on special teams.
46 yards. Osbaldiston's good, and with the wind, he had about 15 yards to spare.
There's a guy that hangs around with offensive linemen. When he makes a field goal, he headbutts them. That's a tough guy. You don't have many kickers that are tough guys, but Osbaldiston at 220 pounds, belly-flopping champion, he's a tough guy.
And Adam Rita can only start to think about next Saturday at the Sky Dome.
Well, he'll have them ready next Saturday. I'll guarantee you that.
And let's not suggest for a moment the Ticats have rid themselves of all their problems in one afternoon.
Well, one big problem in football is always emotion.
Well, the Gatorade has already gone to work, and they're celebrating with 35 seconds to go. Ricky Foggy under the gun. Michael Jones trying to track him down, complete to Ismail. Corus Irvin trying to pull him down, and does at the 54-yard line. Well, that might be the sweetest shower John Gregory's taken so far this year.
I think they got him. You know, he's been a coach for a long time, but they surprised him. He's coached 10 years in university, head coach, and they got him with the Gatorade.
Jason Riley looks like the culprit.
It's always the offensive linemen. They know how to do it.
The completion near first down territory for Mazzotti.
Both of these teams have to pick up the pieces on injuries and see what they can, you know, one big problem, short week going into next week, they got to fit that roster. And with the injury situation, you don't want to put a lot of people on injured reserve. You lose them for 30 days.
15 seconds to go. Foggy, 2nd and 2, and he is dragged down. First down, but that's academic at this point. 7 seconds to play. Alapati with the tackle.
Well, they missed Giftopoulos, but it looks like Alapati was really active in there. And, of course, Moulton picked up any slack they might have had. without having Peter Gothopoulos.
After getting soaked like that, I wonder if John Gregory will be invited to the next belly flop competition.
He's a candidate. He'd be a good candidate.
Last play, Foggy airs it out. Well, it's incomplete. Thought a flag had been dropped, but that's it. It's all over. And John Gregory has done what a Tiger Cat coach has been able to do now for 11 games, and that's put a win up on the board.
John Gregory said to us he got hired after being unemployed for 7 days. He said, is that a record? I don't know about that, John, but it sure is a record to bring the Hamilton Ticats back from 0-8 and get this victory. That must be a great feeling. You get fired 1 week and then have a first victory for the Ticats the next week. That's called peaks and valleys, Chris. That's one reason why only the stout of heart would go into coaching.
John's got a lot of friends across the country, and he's got a whole lot more here in Hamilton now after this victory. 48-24, Tiger Cats with their first win of the year this afternoon. Fans don't want to leave now, Joe.
Looks like they're going to stay and have a celebration.
Well, Mike Kerrigan is back, and he led a great offensive attack today as the Tiger Cats move to 1-8.
At Ivor Wynn Stadium, tradition, emotion, the biggest crowd of the season, a new coach for all the elements, and a Tiger Cat victory over the powerful Toronto Argonauts. A lot of heroes in this game. We've settled on Hamilton quarterback Mike Kerrigan as our Molson MVP. He's been in and out this season, in for this entire game, went the distance, looking as good as he has in years. And this pass to Rocky DiPietro was one of 3 touchdown passes by Kerrigan on the day. DiPietro caught 2 of them, made it 27-24 Hamilton in a 48-24 Ticat victory. He completed 28 of 41 passes. Last week, Adam Reeder told us that many of his players didn't know much about the Toronto-Hamilton rivalry and the Labor Day tradition. I suspect they know a whole lot more now on the heels of a Ticat win at Ivor Wynn. At McMahon Stadium in Calgary, they're expecting a large crowd and a great game between the Edmonton Eskimos and the Calgary Stampeders. They're set for the second half of our Labor Day doubleheader on the CFL on CBC. Goodbye from Hamilton, and stay tuned as we send you to Calgary.